Rowell. Hitting third and playing first base, number 18, Bray, Touchstone. Batting fourth as the extra hitter, number 40, John McKillop. Batting fifth and playing left field, number 30, Luke Costello. Batting sixth and playing center field, number 10, Brandon McCrane. Hitting seventh and playing second base, number 3, John Young. Batting eighth and playing right field, number 20, Will Cohen. Batting ninth and playing third base, number 16, Peyton Jameson. And batting 10th as a designated hitter, number 38, Brad Curtis. The starting pitcher for the Amsterdam Mohawks, number 23, Zach Hernandez. And the team manager, Keith Griffin. And now, for your Boonville Lumberjacks, leading off and playing shortstop out of Marshall University, number 2, Angel Santiago. Batting second as the extra hitter out of Seminole State College, number 10, Chase Strickland. Batting third and playing first base out of Memphis University, number 35, Carter McKay. Hitting fourth as a designated hitter out of Mount Olive University, number 34, Jeremiah McLemore. Batting fifth and playing third base out of Southern Texas, number 31, Erwin Cabasa. Batting sixth and playing center field out of Vernon College, number 21, Jorge Oliveira. Batting seventh and playing second base out of Florida Southwestern, number 9, Miguel Gonzalez. Batting eighth and playing catcher out of Mount Olive University, number 22, Connor Tapati. Hitting ninth and playing left field out of Fort Hays State University, number 3, Sebastian Burgos. And batting 10th and playing right field out of Seminole State College, number 1, Mason Resmondo. Your starting pitcher tonight, number 29 out of Seminole State College, Colton Sampson. And the team manager, Jay Gonzalez, with assistant head coach, Howie Krause. Please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Hey everyone, welcome to this evening matchup between the Boonville Lumberjacks and the Amsterdam Mohawks right here at Hanson Aggregates Field. Boonville comes into this game riding a 10-game losing streak, falling to the Oneonta Outlaws last night by a score of 9-5. Able to tack on 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, but not enough to muster a big enough comeback to get back into that game. Lumberjacks stranded 12 men on base against the Outlaws. On the other hand, the Amsterdam Mohawks recently just clinched the East Division's first place spot and are riding a 3-game winning streak heading into this contest against the Lumberjacks. It's their 4th of the season against each other. The Lumberjacks defeated the Amsterdam Mohawks in run rule fashion on June 20th earlier this season. And that was the Mohawks' only run rule loss. But outside of that win, the Lumberjacks have fallen to the Amsterdam Mohawks twice by a combined 3 runs. Recently lost to them the other night by a score of 5-3. Lumberjacks were tied with them, but fielding errors inhibited their ability to take over that game and secure a pivotal win. Lumberjacks find themselves 3 games back in the East Division standings for the final playoff spot, and they will need some serious help with only 4 games remaining. The Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs will seemingly have to lose every single game for them to even reach that playoff spot. But on the mound tonight is Colton Sampson, the southpaw that just completed his freshman year at Seminole State College. Had an excellent outing in his last performance, completed 5 innings, allowed just 3 hits, 1 earned run, and had 10 strikeouts in that contest. This will be his 3rd start of the season. He was a late acquisition for Jay Gonzalez and company. But Chris Holcraft will look to lead things off for the Amsterdam Mohawks. He's one of their mid-season all-stars, has been excellent at the plate, hit a home run in the Mohawks' 5-3 win against the Lumberjacks. So has some power in that bat, and he also boasts a .312 batting average along with a .456 on base percentage. But Colton Sampson delivers one right down the plate to open the count there. Fires one outside to follow that, so evening it at 1 to Holcraft. And Colton Sampson, again, looking to build off the momentum that he mustered up in his last outing. He winds and delivers that, puts it right past Holcraft. That fastball is very lethal, and that is his signature pitch that he uses. Went to it right there. So here's a payoff pitch coming up. Got Holcraft to swing right through that. He sets, winds and delivers, and he gets it right past Holcraft. Great way to start the game for the Lumberjacks. Challenged Holcraft on that fastball, and it just got right past him. Holcraft could not turn his hands quickly enough. Colton Sampson, in his first batter that he faced, he records a strikeout. That'll bring up Brett Rowell, the play, recent graduate from West Florida, where he recorded a .353 batting average and a .529 slugging percentage. He is making his 3rd appearance of the season. Very, very late acquisition for the Amsterdam Mohawks, who have lost a healthy amount of guys this season, very similar to what the Boonville Lumberjacks have been dealing with as well. 0-1 count here to Rowell, who swings right through that off-speed pitch. Colton Sampson locating the zone well early, not letting any pitches get away from him. He'll have another payoff opportunity to record his 2nd straight strikeout. Really eased into his time with the Lumberjacks. Struggled in his first outing, but that was just to shake off the rust. And that one gets put right on the inside, and that is actually going to hit Rowell there, and it'll walk him on base. Could be a costly hit by pitch for Sampson. He was up 0-2, and you don't want to squander that opportunity. He did just that there. So Rowell will be on first. That'll bring up Bray Touchstone to the plate. Another one of the Amsterdam Mohawks mid-season all-stars. the highest slugging percentage on the team at .569, and also leads the team in home runs with 4 on the season, and extra base hits as well with 17. So watch out for him to nail one into the gap in this at-bat. That one gets right past Connor Tapati there. Touchstone will advance the wild pitch. Runner in scoring position now for the Mohawks. See, fielding still an issue for the Lumberjacks. Really struggled in that department as of late. They've had fielding errors in 8 errors in their last 6 games. Again, has really driven their skid. 0-1 or 1-0 count to Touchstone here. Lines and delivers that. That's put right on the ground to Erwin Cabasa, who is making the start at third tonight, but that is going to be called foul. 1-1 count here for Touchstone at the plate. But Erwin Cabasa made the start in right field last night, and he even started at second base position against the Sarti Stallions earlier this week. Jay Gonzalez really moving him around the field, and third base has been a problem spot for the Lumberjacks this season. Akil Nimala struggled there to open the season, and then the duty was given to Andy Perez, who has the lowest fielding percentage along with the most errors on the squad. But Touchstone gets under that. It's going to be in shallow left center field. Sebastian Burgos able to field that cleanly, and that is going to be the second out of the inning. Bringing up John McKillop to the plate. 2 outs. Runner still in scoring position for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Again, most of these contests between these two teams have been tightly contested. It is likely that this is going to be another tightly contested matchup between these two squads. Colton Sampson winds and delivers that. That's put right on the ground to Erwin Cabas, who bobbles that there. But he's going to have a chance to tag, but that gets, again, out of his mitt. Issues again at third base, plaguing the Boonville Lumberjacks. And that is going to allow the Amsterdam Mohawks to have another chance in this inning. That corner of the infield has been such a problem spot for the Lumberjacks, and that is not a good way to start for Cabasa at his new position. He's not traditionally a third baseman, typically occupies the opposite corner of the infield at first, and he even plays some catcher. But when he first got to the Lumberjacks, he simply was a designated hitter. And Luke Costello able to flare that one back. But Jay Gonzalez really getting desperate with who to put on that corner. Surprised that he hasn't gone back to Akil Nimala, who hasn't really gotten a shot to come back from his early struggles. And Jay Gonzalez really looking to get some other guys involved there. But that is put right up the middle there. Costello drives home a run. But that was heavily influenced by the error from Erwin Cabasa. This is going to be an unearned run for the Lumberjacks. Colton Sampson should have been able to get out of that inning, but again, the field is not backing him. The story repeats itself over and over again. That is what has driven the Amsterdam Mohawks' first run of the contest. Colton Sampson puts that one down. Miguel Gonzalez fields that cleanly at second. Tosses it over to Carter McKay for the third out of the inning, but not before the Amsterdam Mohawks tack on one run here to go up 1-0 in the top of the first off the error from Erwin Cabasa. The Boonville Lumberjacks will look to clean things up in the field. They need to get their lineup going early. That has not been a struggle for the team this season. Have had a lot of solid bottom of the first, but just haven't been able to keep up their hot bats throughout an entire game. Consistency has been a real issue for this lineup, but they will want to jump on the Amsterdam Mohawks pitching staff early. We will be back with that. And we are back here in the bottom of the first inning. This contest between the Lumberjacks and the Amsterdam Mohawks. Lumberjacks looking to snap this double-digit losing streak that they've accumulated in the past couple weeks. And Angel Santiago leading things off for the Lumberjacks, his first appearance in the leadoff spot. Andy Perez getting the rest day tonight. Before this game, Perez had started 23 straight games at the leadoff position, but body was sore today, wanted to take a rest day, and that is going to allow Angel Santiago to step into the leadoff spot for the Lumberjacks. He takes 2 straight balls right there. Angel Santiago, such a disciplined hitter at the plate. He leads the team in walks with 27 on the season thus far, and he is already in the count 2-0 here, but he is facing another one of the Amsterdam Mohawks mid-season All-Stars in Zach Hernandez. He's a rising junior at Belmont, had a 10.50 ERA there last season. He fits that one right down the plate, able to work back into it. So 2-1 to Angel Santiago. And Hernandez really has been excellent on the mound for the squad. 2.08 ERA, undefeated record along with that in 30 1/3 innings pitched so far this season. Angel Santiago flares that one back, but payoff count coming up for the right-handed hitter. Hernandez has also racked up 29 strikeouts, which is the second most on this Mohawks team, which really does boast an impressive staff. Lead the league in earned run average. The team at a 3.81 clip. And also have the second lowest whip at 1.43. Team doesn't really have many weaknesses. They can beat you in the batter's box and can beat you on the mound as well. Amsterdam really always fields an excellent team each and every PGCBL season, and they have done that again this year. They've won 8 of the 12 PGCBL championships throughout their entire history, looking to add their 9th in this season. They really do get a ton of D1 talent to fill their roster, which can be a rarity in the PGCBL. But Angel Santiago draws his 28th walk of the season. That is a quality at-bat from the shortstop. Chase Triplett, the 2-hole, will now step up to the plate for the Lumberjacks. He has really grown comfortable in this new spot in the lineup, has moved throughout the batting order this season, started in the bottom half and slowly worked his way up to the 3-hole spot. But now Jay Gonzalez really liking him in the 2-hole. That one is put right in the dirt and will advance Angel Santiago. Wild pitch there from Hernandez, who let go of that fastball a little too late. Chase Triplett, opportunity to tie this game up with just one hit to drive Angel Santiago home. And Chase Triplett has cooled off a bit of recent. He does have a 4-game hitting streak, but each of those games he's just had one hit. Also had 3 RBIs across the span and has posted 3 RBIs against the Amsterdam Mohawks specifically. So has done really nicely against the Mohawks specifically, going 3-4-6 against them on the season. Another Seminole State College player on this Boonville Lumberjacks roster. 1-0 count coming up here for Hernandez, who puts that one again on the outside. 2-0 here for Triplett. Triplett, 378 batting average, 500 on base percentage, and 554 slugging percentage, which leads the Lumberjacks lineup. Hernandez winds and delivers, gets Chase Triplett to swing at that. Tried to check his swing, but to no avail. That is going to bring the count to 2-1 for the left-handed slugger. Chase Triplett has also drove in 20 runners this season, which leads all Lumberjacks. He racked up a ton at the start of the season, had a huge performance against the Utica Blue Sox in their 17-12 win, which was their first match against each other. Lumberjacks haven't found much success against the Blue Sox since then, or their arch rival. But the Lumberjacks swept them to open the season. just simply haven't been able to get a win against them, have lost 6 of their last 7 against that team specifically. But 2-2 count coming up for Hernandez, looking to get his first punch out of the night. Nearly got Chase Triplett to swing on that same breaking pitch that he got him on earlier, but that is going to bring up a full count for Triplett in the batter's box. Angel Santiago able to work a full count in the first at-bat of the night. Ended up drawing a walk. Can Chase Triplett do that right here? He has 18 walks on the season, has been very disciplined at the plate. The top of this order does not get fooled very easily. And he's going to take that right there to 2 straight walks for the Lumberjacks in this contest. And they'll have runners on first and second base here, bringing up the 3-hole hitter in Carter McKay, who has boasted 3 straight 3-hit games, has been on an absolute tear recently, had 3 singles in the loss to the Oneonta Outlaws last night, has a .323 batting average along with a .531 on base percentage and 10 extra base hits, which ranks third on the team. And Hernandez winds that up and gets him to foul that one back. Carter McKay got a piece of it, but couldn't get enough of the barrel on the pitch. And Carter McKay has struggled at times with strikeouts, has had a couple stretches of the season where he's just simply racked them up, posting 22 so far, which is the second most on the Lumberjacks roster. But he has done a nice job of seeing the ball well recently. Hernandez, 0-1 count, looks back at Angel Santiago at second. And Carter McKay drills that right to right field. And that is going to hop up on Sebastian Harden out there in right field. And Angel Santiago is going to tie the game. Gets plated on that single from Carter McKay. And that is so going to be an error. For Harden out there, that really took an awkward bounce on him, unable to corral it. The sun is also on that side of the field. That could have impacted his ability to really see that ball well, but that ate him up. And the Boonville Lumberjacks will now have 2 runners in scoring position with Jeremiah McLemore at the plate, who cut right through that breaking pitch. Hernandez opened him up with that. He's well early on it. So a 1 count here for McLemore. He's had 1 hit across his last 3 games and has gone 1 for 10 against Amsterdam specifically this season. Despite that, he does have a .284 batting average and a .348 on base percentage. But that one's going to get past the catcher there, and the Boonville Lumberjacks are going to take a lead with that. Advancing Chase Triplett to the plate, and Carter McKay will advance to third on it. So Lumberjacks really tacking on some runs early. That has not been their issue so far this season. They've been able to get off to hot starts. That top of the lineup is very formidable. But the issue with the Lumberjacks has been how their lineup keeps it up throughout a game. They haven't had a consistent performance at the plate in quite some time. Not a surprise that they're doing well in the bottom of the first and really knocking up Zach Hernandez a bit. But still, Hernandez has a payoff pitch coming up to McLemore. McLemore has struck out 15 times this season so far. Like to prevent himself from getting to the 16 mark. 1-2 count here. That one is put right on the ground up the middle there. John Young makes an excellent play out at second base, leaning away from his body to make that throw. Alabama product in the middle of the infield there for the Amsterdam Mohawks, and that's a very nice play. It also keeps Carter McKay stationed at third base, and that is going to mark the first out of the inning for the Amsterdam Mohawks, able to tack on 1. And the Lumberjacks already added 2 runs in this inning to take the lead away from the Mohawks. With Erwin Cabasa now stepping up to the plate, who will be attending Texas Southern next season, completed his 2 years at Seminole State College. So another Florida local on this roster filled with guys from that state. And he is starting at the third base position tonight, which again is a rarity for Erwin Cabasa. He's been able to draw the count to 2-0 early from Deltona, Florida specifically. Transferred over from the Strasburg Express of the Valley Collegiate Baseball League, where he played at earlier in the season and boasted a .294 batting average there. But opting to take his talents and help Jay Gonzalez out a little bit, even though it might mark the end of the Lumberjack season. They really need to start stringing some wins together. They need to win out in order to even have a chance at the playoffs. Erwin Cabasa puts that right on the ground between the shortstop and third baseman, and that is going to drive Carter McKay to the plate. 3-1 early lead for the Lumberjacks. Great situational hitting there from Erwin Cabasa. Found the hole in the infield and attacked it and got it right past the shortstop and third baseman for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Solid piece of hitting from Cabasa, who has really been a welcome addition to this lineup for Boonville. And that'll bring up Jorge Oliveira to the plate, looking to continue this first inning run for the Lumberjacks. Hernandez winds and delivers that and puts it right down the plate. Will he be able to gain some composure and gain some momentum along with that to get out of this inning? Quick 0-1 count to Jorge Oliveira, coming all the way from San Juan, Puerto Rico, making his fourth appearance of the season for the Lumberjacks. And Hernandez winds and delivers, puts that one away. He's lost a good amount of control. Hasn't been reminiscent of what he's showcased so far this season. He recently had a 5-inning outing where he allowed 2 earned runs in the 3-2 loss to the Outlaws. He has struggled early in this contest. That one gets right past Jorge Oliveira. Got him to cut right through that breaking pitch there. Another payoff situation for the right-handed pitcher. Has had numerous situations where he's had the opportunity to punch out some guys, but just hasn't taken full advantage of it. Hernandez delivers that right past Jorge Oliveira. Got him to chase on that outside pitch. Great approach from Hernandez to get a much-needed out. That'll be the second of the inning for the Mohawks. Miguel Gonzalez, behind the 7-hole spot, will now step up to the plate. He will be attending Daytona State next season. Just completed his freshman year, Southwestern Florida State University. He's a Miami, Florida local, and the number 61st ranked shortstop in Florida. It's a very quick twitch athleticism. May get to see that on display at second. He was playing third base for 2 games, but he committed a crucial error in the loss to the Amsterdam Mohawks a couple nights back. And Jay Gonzalez wanting to move him to the opposite side of the infield where he is much more comfortable. Doesn't have a strong enough arm to really be a quality third baseman, but is an exceptional second baseman for the Lumberjacks. He has showcased his athleticism so far this season. He also has great chemistry with Angel Santiago, who has become the everyday shortstop for the Lumberjacks. Both of them, again, played high school ball together and have grown up as childhood friends. You see the Lumberjacks turn a double play tonight. It'll largely be thanks to the chemistry that Gonzalez and Santiago boast. But 1-2 count here. Hernandez will look to punch out his second straight to stop the bleeding in the bottom of the first. Hernandez winds and delivers that, and that is put right down the plate. Catches Miguel Gonzalez looking on that, rings him up, and that is going to mark the end of the inning, but not before the Lumberjacks tack on 3 runs to take an early lead in this contest. Can their bats keep it up and build upon the momentum that they gained in the bottom of the first? We shall see. But before we get to that, Colton Sampson will step onto the mound looking to shut down the Amsterdam Mohawks for second inning of his start. We will be back with that. And we're back here in the top of the second of action between the Lumberjacks and the Amsterdam Mohawks. An eventful first inning for both squads, tacking on 4 combined runs. The Amsterdam Mohawks will need to work from behind here and cut into this early deficit that they got into. Most of those runs were unearned last inning for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Costly error from Sebastian Harden out there in right field. And that allowed all 3 of the runners to come home and contributed to that. But the Lumberjacks did take advantage of it, learning from their last game where they, again, stranded 12 runners on base and capitalizing on opportunities at the plate. But John Young Jr. will be in the batter's box here for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Alabama product, one of the many D1 athletes on this Amsterdam Mohawks roster. He's a rising sophomore there, posted a 136, 208, and 136 slash line during his first collegiate season. Comes all the way from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where he's the number 2nd ranked shortstop in the class of 2024. It's a 90 mile per hour exit velocity, along with an 83 mile per hour infield velocity, and has grown into the everyday second baseman for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Saw what he could do in the field last inning, making throw where his body was going away from first base, but still made an excellent throw. He chops that one right down to Colton Sampson, makes a play right to first, and that is going to mark the first out of the inning. Great fielding there from Colton Sampson. He's able to get John Young out. That'll bring Will Cowan up to the plate. The St. John's product and an Alberston, New York local. In his first season at St. John's, a 256 batting average with a 359 on base percentage. With 1 home run, 4 doubles, and 11 RBIs. He's the number 3rd ranked shortstop in New York for his class and number 12 overall in that state. He does take a first pitch strike right down the middle. What he really relies on to make his impact at the plate is he has a simple stride at the point of contact that initiates his swing. And that's what allows him to drive balls deep. He has great gap-to-gap abilities, and that can be delivered for a ball. Will Cowan, as he lays off that, evens it at 1. Colton Sampson really has built off his previous performance nicely early in this contest, limiting the Amsterdam Mohawks to just 1 run in the top of the first. That one is put high there, just missed, put it high and in on Cowan. But again, those 10 strikeouts that he had during his last game were 10 of 16 total against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. And that was the most that the pitching staff has had this season, yet the Lumberjacks still lost that game 4-3 in walk-off fashion. Heartbreaking loss for the squad. Colton Sampson evens the count at 2 there. Quality pitch that just touched the outside chalk on Cowan there. Looked to get his 2nd strikeout of the night on Cowan at the plate. Playing center field tonight for the Amsterdam Mohawks. So 2-2 delivery coming up. Sampson winds and delivers that. Is put deflected foul. Quality at bat here from Cowan, staying alive in the batter's box. Again, Colton Sampson went to that fastball, challenged Cowan there, but he does not get the punch out on that one. Able to just get a piece of it, deflected to the opposite foul line. So again, payoff pitch coming up here for this southpaw. Looking to get his 2nd strikeout of the night. He steps off the mound. Take a little bit to deliberate what he wants to do. And Colton Sampson, one of the many players on this Lumberjacks roster that was actually on the Phillies scout team where he met Jay Gonzalez, who was a coach for them. That is how Jay Gonzalez got a majority of these players to Boonville. It is paying off for them. Let's put outside there. Miss from Sampson. But Sampson, another player from the South. He's from Fort Mitchell, Alabama. Number 5th ranked left-handed pitcher in the state. And number 300 2 at the position for his class. His fastball velocity touches 90 miles per hour, which is very elite in the PGCBL. And Cowan gets a piece of that. That is tracking foul. Carter McKay tries to get out under it, but just gets out of the field of play. Cowan drawing Sampson's pitch count up here. And Sampson also boasts a slider, changeup, and curveball, so 4-pitch mix, which are all in the low to mid 70s. That nearly 15-mile-per-hour dip in velocity is also what makes him unpredictable on the mound for many hitters. So again, with the full count payoff, Cowan drives that, was just behind on it. That'll be a long run for Mason Rismondo, but he does get under it in foul territory to get the second out of the inning on Cowan. That'll bring up Peyton Jamison to the plate for the Amsterdam Mohawks' last hope in the top of the first. He's a rising junior at Mercy College, posted a .402 batting average along with a .568 slugging percentage his last collegiate season, with 19 doubles and 36 RBIs. He's a gap machine. That one is put high there on him. Jameson, Monroe, New York local, posts an 87-mile-per-hour exit velocity. Also has 21.9 mile-per-hour hand speed. Played in the Atlantic CBL last season, and Erwin Cabasa makes a nice play there, runs out to get it, but that is well over the head of Carter McKay. Another error out at third from Erwin Cabasa, who really rushed that throw there. And that is, again, going to allow the Amsterdam Mohawks to stay alive in this inning. That was going to be a tough play for the third baseman, but he didn't have to rush that. Peyton Jamison using the speed that he has to dig out that reach on an error, and that is what really sped up the motion of Erwin Cabasa out at third, and that's already his second error of the night, and they haven't even gotten through the second inning yet. Now Brad Curtis, the bottom of the order hitter for the Amsterdam Mohawks, will step up here with 2 outs. Sampson, that leg kick, goes down with it and gets a strike to open the count on the inside. 0-1 count here to Curtis. 2 outs and a man on first base in Jamison. Brad Curtis is committed to Siena College. He's also listed as a right-handed pitcher for the Amsterdam Mohawks. So he deflects that one back. He's a Ballstone Lake, New York local. Just graduated from Shenandoah High School. Number 20th ranked right-handed pitcher in New York, number 60th ranked overall, but he has spent most of his impact at the plate, as Keith Griffin has really used him in the lineup throughout this season and hasn't gotten many opportunities on the mound as he deflects that one back. Clip the backstop. Still 0-2 count here for Sampson. Another chance to strike him out to get his second of the night. And Curtis will need to protect the plate here to stay alive. And Brad Curtis, .219 batting average, along with a .308 on base percentage. He has 8 strikeouts on the season in just 32 at-bats. Struggled to get going so far. Colton Sampson nearly put that right in the zone on the corner, but does not get the call. Good layoff there from Curtis at the plate. And he is going to have another opportunity to drive something home on this count against Colton Sampson. Sampson winds and delivers that. It is put right past Brad Curtis there. Got him on that breaking pitch. Mixed them up perfectly, and he gets out of the inning, blanking the Amsterdam Mohawks lineup. We head into the bottom of the second. Lumberjacks look to add some insurance runs to their lead with their bottom 3 batters in Connor Tapati, Sebastian Burgos, and Mason Resmondo due up. We shall be back with that. And we're back here in the bottom of the second. Lumberjacks find themselves up 3-1 early in this contest, able to knock up Zach Hernandez on the mound early. They'd be able to keep that up with the bottom of their order coming up. Connor Tapati will open things up for this Lumberjacks lineup in the bottom of the second. Left-handed hitter that really doesn't strike out much at the plate. Has drawn 14 walks on the season, which ranks third on the team, and has limited his strikeout counter to just 7, despite posting a 175 batting average. He really does have some ground out issues. His ratio from ground outs to foul outs is 2.07, so really rolls over the ball at a high clip. But he is up in the count 2-0 here. And again, that walk production is what has been really making Connor Tapati a valuable asset at the plate. Quick 2-0 here. Zach Hernandez winds and delivers that. Connor Tapati flares that into the opposite field there. That has been where he is getting that hitting production from. Staying patient in the batter's box and barreling it up to the opposite side of the infield to get a single to open the inning. Solid start here for the Lumberjacks. That is already their third hit of the night. Sebastian Burgos will now step up to the plate for Boonville. Really struggled with strikeouts this season. He's posted 26, which is the most on the team. At the same time, he has drawn 17 walks, but has just posted 11 hits in 60 at-bats, which has really been driving his 183 batting average so far this season. But he gets ahead in the count early, 1-0 to Hernandez. That is put just outside. Quality miss there from the right-handed pitcher. Quickly 2-0 again. That is when Connor Tapati got that hit in his last at-bat. That single production really allowing the Lumberjacks to plate those 3 runs in the bottom of the first. It's just situational hitting at its finest, but that is put right in the low part of the zone for strike 1. Got it past Burgos on that. 2-1 here for the recent Fort Hays State graduate. Burgos, Kissimmee, Florida local. He flares that one foul, but payoff pitch coming up for Burgos and Hernandez. And the Lumberjacks, in their 5-3 loss against the Amsterdam Mohawks, racked up 17 strikeouts, their most of the season. And it was really the bullpen production for the Mohawks that drove that season-breaking mark. But that is put right down to the plate on Burgos. Already the Lumberjacks' third strikeout of the night. So they continue in this game. Amsterdam pitchers have been getting past the Lumberjacks in these matchups so far. And Hernandez, despite allowing 3 runs, has already racked up 3 strikeouts early in this game. The Amsterdam Mohawks have struck out most teams very well this season, having 370. Or sorry, 373 this season, while limiting their strikeouts at the plate to just 215. Done well in both departments, both on the mound and at the plate. And Hernandez is finding the zone nicely against Mason Rosmono, fitting 2 straight strikes in the zone. Another payoff pitch coming up to the right-handed hitter. He's in the bottom of the order yet again for Boonville. Hernandez winds and delivers that, and that is a nice scoop. There is going to be an attempted steal there from Connor Tapati, and he is going to be called out on that. Excellent play from the Amsterdam Mohawks catcher, and Brent Rowell, just his 3rd appearance of the season, able to scoop that one up and catch Connor Tapati stealing. Excellent play there. So now no men will be on base. Mason Rosmono not much to work with, and he gets rung up on that. Another looking strikeout for the Lumberjacks, who just are not swinging the bat against Hernandez. already his 4th strikeout of the night. And that blanks the Boonville Lumberjacks in the bottom of the 2nd. Lion Colton Sampson to maintain this 2-run lead. We will be back. The Amsterdam Mohawks and the top of their order coming up. And we're back here in the top of the 3rd. Leadoff hitter Chris Holcraft at the plate to begin this inning. Rising senior at St. Bonaventure University is the youngest of 5 siblings. Last collegiate season posted a 289, 367, 454 slash line with 7 home runs, 7 doubles, and 2 triples, along with 49 RBIs. Hails from Fayetteville, New York. He played for the Syracuse Saltcast in the past 2 summer seasons. He hit above 360 and slugged above 800 to go along with that. Really been on a tear in summer leagues recently. Posted a 464 slugging percentage this season with 13 extra base hits, including 3 home runs. That is going to be on the outside there. Colton Sampson easing up a bit on Holcraft. I want to put it right down the plate. Powerful hitter. Again, although he's in the leadoff spot, does have a substantial amount of power in that bat. And the Boonville Lumberjacks know firsthand what he carries, that wooden bat. And that is put right on the outside part of the zone. Went a little bit low, leaving the count at 2. Holcraft struck out in his first at-bat of the night. So Colton Sampson able to get past him early. Will he be able to do it yet again to get his 3rd strikeout? And with the 2-2 delivery, Holcraft gets a piece of that and flares it back to stay alive. Holcraft is not a guy that strikes out much. 19 strikeouts in 125 at-bats on the season. He's also drawn 30 walks. So great eye at the plate. Right-handed hitter. Sampson is that high leg lift, initiates the motion, but that is put back yet again. Good inside spot for the fastball, but Holcraft, quality hitter, gets just enough on it because that is an almost impossible pitch to drive for substantial contact. 2-2 coming up, 0 outs, no men on. Sampson with another payoff delivery coming up. 2 straight foul balls from Holcraft. Sampson winds and delivers. That one's put past Holcraft. Sped him up with the fastball and then went to that breaking pitch to get his 2nd strikeout of the night on the Amsterdam midseason All-American, who's having a rough night at the plate tonight. And that is going to bring up Brett Rowell, hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. He transferred from Coastal Alabama before going to West Florida. Very even upright stance. ability to drive the ball to both gaps. 94.5 mile per hour exit velocity. But this is, again, a lefty-lefty matchup. Would definitely give Sampson the advantage. Gets him to foul that one back. Didn't make great contact on it. And Sampson has really been putting the ball into places where Amsterdam hitters are having a hard time hitting the ball. Really painting the corners nicely. That's where pitchers live and die, is at the corners. And Sampson has been dotting them up perfectly on the chalk. And that one gets past him there. Strike two. That breaking pitch has been lethal tonight. It hasn't been his signature fastball that has been doing most of the production for him on the mound. It's his fastball in harmony with his off-speed arsenal that has been doing the damage. That one is put right on the ground. Erwin Cabasa, who moves over to second base, gets the out there. Little shift from Jay Gonzalez, moving Miguel Gonzalez to third base, and Erwin Cabasa, after struggling mightily on the corner, gets placed at second. So a bit of a switch up here for the Lumberjacks early in this game, and maybe a wise decision that could bolster their fielding ability. And Jay Gonzalez was not messing around with that. He immediately went to shift Erwin Cabasa after his recent error in the top of the second. And Bray Touchstone will now be at the plate. Flew out to left. First up, I drove it to shallow left center field. 1-1 count here for the right-handed hitter. He's again been one of the Amsterdam Mohawks' shining stars this season at the plate specifically. He also plays catcher, but is filling the first base position tonight. Sampson delivers that. It's put into foul play. Gets up early on him. Another payoff pitch coming up for the southpaw, looking to blank the Amsterdam Mohawks for the second straight inning of this contest. They're going to need their pitching to maintain this lead, especially if the batters cool off as the contest wears on. And that is put right on the ground, down at the third base line, but will track foul. So Touchstone stays alive here. Still no men on for Sampson. Working well and also methodically through this Mohawk lineup. When you're a pitcher, you really want to make efficient work of teams. And Colton Sampson has recorded under 40 pitches on the night thus far. Keeping that pitch count down will be essential for him, and he puts that one high. Got him to swing right through it. Put it upstairs, and got him to chase. This is fourth strikeout of the night. Lumberjacks blank the Mohawks. Second straight inning. Their lineup, in the top of the order specifically, due up, looking to do some more damage to Zach Hernandez on the mound. We'll be back with Angel Santiago, Chase Triplett, and Carter McKay starring for the main feature. We're back here in the bottom of the third again. The top of the Boonville lineup coming up. Angel Santiago will lead things off for the squad. He walked in his first at-bat and was eventually plated on a run. He looked to get on base again, drew his 28th walk of the season in that last at-bat. Been really effective with that plate discipline that he displays. He looked to get things started early again for the Lumberjacks, but he takes a first pitch strike. Wisely gets his eye on the ball. Doesn't turn his swing on that. So quick 0-1 count here for Zach Hernandez. He's really come along nicely after the 3-run first inning. Already has racked up 4 strikeouts in this contest. Looking to build upon that. It's Angel Santiago. And Angel Santiago has struck out a lot recently. Has 17 on the season so far. Kept that mark low, but has seen that counter skyrocket as recent as he's hit a bit of a rough patch at the plate. 0-2 count here that is put right down the middle there. That one fooled Santiago, and that is Hernandez's 3rd straight strikeout. Got it right past Angel Santiago in just 3 pitches. Chase Triplett will now step up to the plate. No men on, 1 out. Chase Triplett, he walked in his last at-bat of the night, which was his 19th of the season. Get things started again for the Lumberjacks. That is put just outside there. Decent miss from Hernandez, and commanding the zone much better than what he was doing in the bottom of the first. Seemed more comfortable on the mound as well. That is put right on the outside part of the zone, which is where you have to attack these left-handed hitters as a right-handed pitcher. Can't give them anything on the inside, especially to the Lumberjacks, who boast such strong pull potential from their left-handed hitters. Scoots that one right on the outside chalk. So 1-1 here. Hernandez winds and delivers that and puts it way too outside on that pitch. 2-1 count coming up for Hernandez. Look to even it again. Hernandez sets, winds and delivers. That one gets right past Chase Triplett. Challenged him directly on that one. Pulled the trigger on it, but could not get his barrel on it. 2-2 count coming up for the left-handed hitter. Hernandez will look to get his 6th strikeout of the night, or 5th, my apologies. He's gone 3 straight again. And that one just misses the outside of the plate on that breaking pitch that cut right in there, but slightly off the chalk. 3-2 count coming up for Triplett. And Hernandez winds and delivers that. That is flared foul. Great job by Triplett to stay alive. Just got a piece of it. Will Hernandez directly challenge him here or try and paint the outside part of the zone yet again? Chase Triplett has proven to be a dangerous hitter in the box this season. Will likely go to that outside part of the zone to get him to look at his strike. And he flares that one right past the 3rd baseman there. That one gets past Peyton Jemison. Chase Triplett rounding for 2nd. He will be in with a stand-up double. He's in scoring position with just 1 out. And Carter McKay now stepping up to the plate. He'll look to drive him home. He's able to increase his hitting streak in his last at-bat. Got a single there. Pulled it right between the 2nd baseman and 1st baseman on a very well-hit ball. The 3rd at-bat of the bottom of the 1st. He will have an opportunity to directly drive Chase Triplett home. Excellent base running there from the outfielder. The diagnosed that was going to be a long run for the left fielder, Amsterdam Mohawks, and sprinted to 2nd base immediately. No hesitation from Triplett on the base paths. And Hernandez again pitches away to Carter McKay. 1-0 Coming up, Hernandez really has been methodically working through the Lumberjacks lineup. Hasn't had many efficient innings so far, and he gets Carter McKay to cut through that. Tried to hold on to that swing, but could not check it. 1-1 count. That breaking pitch really got McKay. Expecting a fastball right down the plate, but switched up on him. Hernandez really does boast a nice off-speed arsenal to go along with his heaters. Say an 89-mile-per-hour fastball with mid-70s mile-per-hour curveballs and sliders. Pitched for Amsterdam last summer as well. We did 2-0 record, 2.75 ERA in 19 2 third innings pitched, along with a 1.68 whip and 24 strikeouts. He has really built upon that strong inaugural season with the Amsterdam Mohawks, coming into this season with more of a purpose, and he's been more of a staple in their rotation so far. He looked to punch out Carter McKay coming up, but that one is put away. 2-2 count now. Another payoff for Hernandez coming up next. He is coming all the way from Fayetteville, Tennessee. He is actually facing another Tennessee local at the plate. Little Tennessee connection here between the pitcher and the batter. That is put outside there again, looking to go to that outside part of the zone, but it got away from Hernandez. Tried to hammer that part of the plate against Triplett, but it didn't working out for him. 3-2 count coming up for McKay. Hernandez looked to punch him out. 5th strikeout of the night. Hey, Lumberjacks are threatening. Chase Triplett stranding off second base. Hernandez winds to the other side and puts it right down the plate. Cuts into the chalk and gets Carter McKay to look right through that. Second out of the inning. Jeremiah McLemore will now step up. And Hernandez has seen most of his strikeout production come from looking strike threes. Lumberjacks have been hesitant at the plate, and that is what has been driving. There are already 5 strikeouts in this contest. Jeremiah McLemore, who grounded out to second in his first at-bat, is now due up. And that one is put low and away there. Again, Hernandez really opening up with pitches away from batters, whether they're right-handed or left-handed. And that is going to call for Brett Rowell to come to the mound to talk with his powerful right-handed pitcher. And the Amsterdam Mohawks, very prestigious program that Keith Griffin has helped build. He's been with the team since 2009, which was before their PGCBL days, and has compiled an 558 and 192 record with the team. He's been the coach of the year 5 separate times. He has a master's in educational leadership from College of Services, and he also College of Education in Chicago. My apologies. He also serves as a head coach, Coastal Alabama Community College. But he has fielded a very nice staff around him. 4 other coaches, and Jeremiah McLemore grounds that right. The shortstop there fires it over the first baseman, and Bray touchdown. That is going to strand Chase Triplett on second. Lumberjacks don't add any more insurance runs despite the double from Triplett. Second at-bat of the inning. And that is going to bring up the Amsterdam Mohawks in the heart of their order. John McKillop, Luke Costello, and Sebastian Harden due up for the squad. They'll look to cut into this lead and potentially take it with Colton Sampson dealing on the mound. We will be back with that. We're back here in the top of the fourth. Game has been moving at an accelerated pace since the 4-run first inning. Both pitchers have settled in nicely, displaying their talents on the mound for the Lumberjacks and the Mohawks. That one scoots right in the low inside part of the zone for strike one on John McKillop. Steps up to the plate to get things started here for the Mohawks, providing a bit of life to this lineup that has been blanked for the past 2 innings. And that one gets right past McKillop there. 2 early strikes. Colton Sampson continues to look cool, calm, and composed on the mound. So 0-2 count here. That one nearly got past McKillop on that, but he just got a piece of it. Stay alive. That is all that you need as a batter, is to get a bit of contact in a payoff situation. John McKillop, he's a rising sophomore at Army, slash 271, 343, and 339 last year with 8 doubles and 20 RBIs. He's a Charlotte, North Carolina local. He's also an Eagle Scout back in the day, which I guess translates well to Army. And that one is put right in the low part of the zone. Colton Sampson records his 5th strikeout of the night and his 2nd straight, getting it right past McKillop to open the inning. Colton Sampson looking eerily reminiscent of his outing in Little Falls against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. That'll bring up Luke Costello to the plate. Costello reached on a single in his first at-bat of the night. Rising sophomore at Wake Forest, another D1 player on this Amsterdam Mohawks roster. Posted a .412 batting average and a .471 slugging percentage across 17 at-bats his first season at Wake Forest. He's an Erie, Pennsylvania local. He's the number 2nd ranked third baseman in Pennsylvania and number 19th at the third base position in the nation for the class of 2024. It's a 100.8 mile per hour exit velocity and a 91 mile per hour infield velocity to go along with that. It's a Mets scout team player. Really turns his hips hard to initiate contact, which drives his bat speed up and can drive the ball specifically to that right center field gap. Has excellent opposite hitting ability. 2-1 count here. So it's a battle between Sampson and Costello. That one just misses. Hitter's count coming up here for number 30. So Colton Sampson looked to work back out of this. He's yet to record a walk. He did hit Brett Rowell earlier in this game, but hasn't had counts get away from him. That is delivered there, and he drives it into right center field. That ball is deep. That ball is tracking, and that ball is gone off the bat of Luke Costello. Drives that deep into right center field, and that just carried in the air into the trees at Hanson Aggregates Field. Was just talking about his opposite field hitting ability. Showcase that fully right there. Hammered that pitch from Colton Sampson. And that was quickly a no-doubter off the bat of the Wake Forest rising sophomore. Excellent hitting there. It's his first home run of the season. And for the Amsterdam Mohawks overall, that's their 19th. They rank first in the entirety of the PGCBL. Sebastian Harden flares that one back. First pitch of the count, and that is staple hitting from Costello. Hitter's count delivery that Sampson gave him. Had to put it in the zone, and he made him pay. Sebastian Harden grounded out to second in his first at-bat of the night, and that is something that can really shake the confidence of Colton Sampson, who is dealing exceptionally well before that hit. All it takes is one swing of the at-bat to alter a pitcher's composure. It takes great mental fortitude to come back from that. You have to realize the Lumberjacks still hold a 3-2 lead in this game. Colton Sampson will need to gain that mojo back in order to stymie this hot Mohawks lineup. And that one is put right on the outside corner there for strike one, strike two. So 1-2 count coming up for Harden. 1 out, no man on. Sebastian Harden, rising senior at Prairie View A&M, coming all the way from Spring, Texas. Put on the inside to him. Wisely lays off it. Evens the count at 2 apiece. He's the number 55th ranked shortstop in Texas. He is playing outfield tonight, so not at his listed position on his scouting report. Very steep swing. And it starts from an open stance. That one is drilled right into center field. That is going to drop there. Gets right in front of Jorge Oliveira, who likely could have gotten under that, but did not charge to get that ball. Just simply lands right in front of him. Not a super hard hit ball from Harden, but that is going to get down for the Mohawks' second hit of this inning. And they are really mustering something here. Just 1 out. John Young Jr. will now step up. He grounded out to Colton Sampson. His first at-bat of the night. Posted a .242 batting average, .410 on base percentage, and .326 slugging percentage. He's drawn 24 walks on the season, but has also struck out 16 times across 95 at-bats. Driven home 14 runners to go along with that. Colton Sampson delivers a ball to open the count to the rising Alabama sophomore. So lefty-lefty matchup again here. How will Colton Sampson approach it? Puts it right down the plate. It's a crucial strike to even the count at 1 apiece. 1-1 coming up here for Sampson. Sampson, he had a 3.56 ERA in his first collegiate season. Gets that one right past Young there. Flashed that breaking pitch yet again. John Young diagnosed it correctly and swings right through it and well early too. Colton Sampson really uses that tall athletic frame to get downhill on the mound. Drives that leg up and goes downhill and gets it right past John Young there. Fifth strikeout of the night. See how that strikeout production has skyrocketed for the Southpaw recently, boasting a 10.24 strikeout per 9 inning mark. So 2 outs, runner still on first. Lumberjacks have a chance to get out of this inning, just surrendering 1 run off the bat of Luke Costello, driving that opposite field home run way over the right center field fence. He's going to bring up Will Cowan. Last hope this inning for the Mohawks. And Cowan fouled out to Mason Rismondo in right field. Made a sprinting grab to get under it. It was tracking deep into foul territory, but Mason Rismondo made a nice hustle play out there to get that out. He's gone 0 for 1 tonight. But another dangerous hitter at the plate, boasting a yellow bat this game. Conchapati's going to fire that back to first, but Sebastian Harden slides in there in time. 1-1 count coming up for Cowan. Cowan was a .266 batting average, .367 on base percentage, and .329 slugging percentage. It's 21 hits on the season, including 5 doubles. Gets him to check through that for strike 2. Another payoff pitch here for Colton Sampson. Just got him to turn the hands a bit too much there. Sampson likely going to rely on that off-speed and breaking arsenal here to punch out Will Cowan to get his 6th of the night. Sampson sets, Looks at first, winds and delivers. That one is flared into foul territory. Got a good piece of that at the plate. But that is going to keep Cowan alive. He's able to foul off ton of pitches in his first at-bat. So seeing the ball well, just hasn't been able to make good contact with the ball so far. Just a tad late on it. Hasn't been able to turn his hands quickly enough on Sampson's fastball specifically. Sampson again. Will he go to that breaking pitch? Winds and delivers. Sebastian Harden's going to take that back. That is fired right to Mason Rismondo in right field, marking the end of the inning. Lumberjacks hold on to their lead, but Luke Costello sends a blast over the right center field fence to cut into the Lumberjacks' lead, where they only sit up by a run. They will need their lineup to add some insurance runs, with Erwin Cabasa, Jorge Oliveira, and Miguel Gonzalez due up in the bottom of the fourth. Can they extend the Lumberjacks' lead? We will be back with that. And we're back here in the bottom of the fourth. Erwin Cabasa, second plate appearance of the night, singled in his first at-bat off a grounder right between the third baseman and shortstop. Quality hitting there from the Texas Southern student, attending his first year there next season. Hernandez face him first. Puts that one down for a strike. Nearly got him to cut through it, but it didn't matter because that touched the zone nevertheless. 0-1 count early here. Hernandez has racked up the strikeouts. This game has gone on. Gets Erwin Cabasa to chop that one right to Holcraft, who fires it over to touchstone. The all-star connection on display there. Routine ground ball. Hernandez gets a quick out to open the inning. That is going to bring up Jorge Oliveira, struck out in his first at-bat of the night. And Oliveira recorded his first hit of the season just last night. He has 4 strikeouts so far this season in just 10 at-bats. But he did drive 2 runners home on that hit that he had last night against the Oneonta Outlaws, which 2 runs out of their 5 total from that night. Hernandez 1-0 count here. Pitch outside on Oliveira to open it up. That one is put outside yet again. Quick 2-0. Oliveira, San Juan, Puerto Rico local. He, number 6th ranked outfielder in territory, number 196th outfielder in the nation for the class of 2024. Very tall figure, listed at 6'4", 205 pounds. Last summer he played for the Bellingham Bells in the West Coast League. He had a .217 batting average with 5 RBIs. He drives that into right center field, and see you later. That one goes off the fence. It looked like that one was going to clips the wall there, but he's going to be in with a stand-up double. That one was tracking deep. Looked like it was going to be in a very similar spot to Luke Costello's home run, but it died just at the last moment, bouncing off the wall right to Sebastian Harden. But Jorge Oliveira still reaches scoring position, with Miguel Gonzalez now waltzing up to the plate. Miguel Gonzalez struck out in his first at-bat of the night. on a looking strike 3, but that is going to bring out the Amsterdam Mohawks pitching coach. Will they go to their bullpen early? They do have a pitcher warming up there right now. But looks like it's just going to be a brief chat to settle the nerves of Zach Hernandez. Again, has looked better on the mound despite having that 3-run first inning, blanking the Lumberjacks for 2 straight. But now they are threatening. Jorge Oliveira nearly got a home run, showcasing that power that he has in that bat. Again, very strong figure. Haven't seen him record an extra base hit so far this season, but during his first year at Vernon College, he posted a .600 slugging percentage with 10 home runs, 11 doubles, and 2 triples, along with 55 RBIs. That is the type of bat that he wields. Hernandez with the runner on second puts that right down the plate against Gonzalez to open the count. 0-1 here for the second baseman. Daytona State student next year. Another player from Miami, Florida. Jay Gonzalez delving into his connections both in Central Florida and in Southern Florida to field this roster, and that one is put low and in. Gonzalez evens the count at 1. Bit of a throwaway pitch there from the right-hander. You can see Miguel Gonzalez really does rely on a narrow stance and then has a big stride to initiate contact. A very loose extension. Along with that, doesn't really keep firm hands on the bat as he follows through his swing. It's a 93 mile per hour exit velocity. Hasn't recorded a home run yet this season, but he's recorded a decent amount of other extra base hits, 2 doubles and 2 triples. He was on an absolute tear in the middle of the season, but again has cooled off, especially given his lacking slugging ability recently. Still has boasted a 3-game hitting streak coming into this game. He's gone 3 for 9 against Amsterdam specifically. Hernandez nearly put that one past him, but he deflects it foul. So another payoff pitch coming up for Hernandez, who will look to punch out Miguel Gonzalez for the second time tonight. And that would being his 7th strikeout if he does so. The Lumberjacks do not want to strand another runner. That has been one of the narratives around their recent team slump. The lineup's inability to really plate runs. Had 5 or 6 straight games where they've had 5 or less runs. And a bunch of these games have had a margin of 2 runs or less. The Lumberjacks suffered 2 recent walk-off losses along the skid. They have been losing to teams by much, just haven't been able to close the deal. That one is put low there, and Brett Rowell doing an excellent job behind the plate at picking these wild pitches from Hernandez. Again, just his 3rd appearance of the season for the Mohawks, but really doing a nice job of keeping balls in front of him rather than letting them get to the backstop. Been an exceptional performance from the catcher. Even got Connor Tapati out on a stolen base attempt. But full count here. Hernandez winds and delivers that and puts it low yet again. Rowell, another nice play to scoop it up. But he will spoil the 1-2 count, throwing 3 straight balls. Miguel Gonzalez will get on base, and that is going to mark his 9th walk of the season. Now Connor Tapati, who drove a single between the third baseman and shortstop in his last at-bat, a line drive that had a ton of velocity to it, will now step up to the plate in his 2nd plate appearance tonight. So runners on 1st and 2nd. Hernandez in a bit of a pickle. He puts that one right past Rowell. That is going to advance both Miguel Gonzalez and Jorge Oliveira into scoring position. That could be a costly mistake for the right-handed pitcher. threw that one way outside and high. Connor Tapati, if he can replicate the single that he had in his first at-bat, it'll likely bring the Lumberjacks lead to 3. And that one is put outside yet again. Been seeing this approach from Hernandez where he's really been going outside against left-handed hitters. It's been hit or miss for him tonight. He's had some really get away from him. 2-0 count to Tapati, and that one is just outside. 3-0 here. Tapati, perfect chance to record his 15th walk of the season. Will most definitely be taking this pitch here. Would help to get an extra eye on the pitches of Hernandez as well. Hernandez winds and delivers that, puts it right down the plate. Strike 1. Hitters count coming up for Tapati. Tapati recorded just 1 extra base hit this season, and that was a double. See much pop in his bat. But he has recorded 10 singles. He actually recorded his 11th tonight, but takes second strike there. Now it's all full. Hernandez. So continue to work out of this jam, and that starts potential punch out of Tapati. Hernandez sets. He winds and delivers. Tapati puts that into play. Then goes foul. Again, Tapati is not a strikeout hitter. It's very hard to get a pitch past him. Just 7 strikeouts this season for the left-handed hitter, catcher. He has really been holding down the catcher room after Bo Jonas and Jacob Newland both departed earlier in the season, and he just gets a piece of that. Hernandez really wanted to go low and inside on him. Nearly painted the corner on that, but Tapati just gets a piece of it. Second straight foul ball, the bat of Tapati. Hernandez again with the full count delivery coming up. Winds and delivers that. Tapati puts that into play. Holcraft jogs out to get it. He fires it over to first, but not before Jorge Oliveira plated at home. That is going to bring the Lumberjacks lead to 2 as they go up 4-2 against the Mohawks, and that is going to spell the end of the night for Hernandez on the mound. Keith Griffin saw enough from his starting pitcher. He's looking to go in a bit of a different direction, going to his bullpen early, and that is where the Lumberjacks struggled in their last game against them. Completely shut down the Lumberjacks lineup. They do have a plethora of D1 talent there. And their pitching staff, really the stalwart unit. And we'll be back after take a quick break for this pitching change. And we're back here in the bottom of the 4th. Lumberjacks opportunity to add some more runs to their lead. Already did off the ground out from Connor Tapati. Situational hitting again for the Lumberjacks. Jorge Oliveira opened up the inning with a double. He did have one out on him, but drove it right off the right center field fence. And that really kick-started the inning for them. Miguel Gonzalez fouled that up with a walk, and then Tepati did what he had to, putting down a ball in play, and that was just enough for Jorge Oliveira to reach home, put it in the exact right position in the infield, and it was deep enough to warrant Oliveira running to home. But that is going to bring out Jesse Kuzmich, rising senior at Weber International University, 10.38 ERA last season across 6 appearances. He played at College of St. Rose prior. He's a Greenwich, New York local. He was also on the Amsterdam roster last summer and Glens Falls the summer prior. He had a 1.93 ERA, 0.86 whip, and 25 strikeouts last summer. He hasn't been as effective this summer for the Amsterdam Mohawks. However, currently boasts a 4.73 ERA, 9 appearances, 13 1/3 innings pitched. Has allowed 10 runs, 7 of which have been earned, with a 1.95 whip. It's really been spearheaded by his 8 walks that he has allowed. He'll face Sebastian Burgos at the plate, who struck out for the 27th time this season in his first at-bat. That one is put low, and Kuzmich misses badly there. 2-1 coming up here for Burgos. Again, just cannot seem to put his bat on the ball at the plate. Displayed a keen eye early in the season, drawing his hefty amount of walks, but has faltered since then in the batter's box. Kuzmich winds and delivers that, puts it high and inside on Burgos. But the luxury for the Amsterdam Mohawks, and you can see this because they're going to their bullpen so early, is that they have a ton of pitchers to use at their disposal, ton of depth in that department. And that has really allowed them to string together a consistent season, whereas the Lumberjacks have lacked that same type of depth as the season has gone on, have lost numerous pitchers, particularly midseason All-Star Drew Turner, along with the Texas A&M pair, Houston Tomlinson and Blaine Line, both of whom had excellent starts to their seasons with the Lumberjacks, but they moved on from the squad in mid-June. The Amsterdam Mohawks have really filled their pitching staff with a lot of talent, as they have inevitably lost some guys, but still boast one of the strongest units in the entire PGCBL. And Kuzmich puts that right down the plate to Rismondo, who also struck out in his first at-bat of the night. It's a 185 batting average and just a 200 slugging percentage, recording just 1 extra base hit. That was a double. He did go 2 for 3 in the 13-3 win against the Mohawks. That was arguably his best performance of the season at the plate. He's also drawn 11 walks on the season and has struck out 14 times. Redshirted his first season at Seminole State College, but will return there next season. And that one is put low and outside yet again. 2-1 here. And Mason Rismondo, runners on the corners to work with here. He will look to deliver an RBI and extend this lead to 3 runs with Kuzmich on the mound. And that is going to get past the first baseman there. Wild throw from Kuzmich. That is going to stray deep into foul territory. Will advance Sebastian Burgos all the way to third, and he's going to try and take home on that. Flurry of errors for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Very atypical for the squad that has so many quality players on their roster. That was a disaster. Sebastian Burgos advances all the way from first to home off 2 errors from the Amsterdam Mohawks. Wild turn of events. Lumberjacks go up 5-2, or 6-2, as that actually plated 2 runs, brought Miguel Gonzalez from third. And again, Sebastian Burgos rounded all the way from first. Very smart base running. Kuzmich relied on an excellent pickoff move to get Sebastian Burgos straying too far away from the first base bag, and he had him beat, but That throw was not on target whatsoever. If he delivered that throw right to the first baseman, he likely would have been out on that one. But it ends up with 2 more runs for the Lumberjacks, who have plated 3 in this inning, 2 of which have been unearned off that disaster of a play from the Amsterdam Mohawks. Mason Rismondo, he won't have that same opportunity to drive home some runs, but still could initiate a 2-out rally with the bases cleared. But Kuzmich looked to stop the bleeding here. He winds and delivers, and that one is put right down the plate on Rismondo. 3rd out, but not before the Lumberjacks add some insurance runs to their lead, go up 6-2 in the bottom of the 4th. This lineup has been having a much more consistent and all-around performance tonight, and that is showing. They lead the division-leading Amsterdam Mohawks 6-2 heading in to the top of the 5th. Amsterdam Mohawks need to cut into this lead quick with Peyton Jamison, Brad Curtis, and Chris Holcraft due up. And we're back here in the top of the 5th. Lumberjacks tack on 3, bottom half of the 4th to go up 6-2. It's the Amsterdam Mohawks, who boast a 29-8-2 record. Lumberjacks have firm control of this contest. Colton Sampson narrowly misses on that one. Again, not allowed a walk so far. Did hit a guy earlier in the game, but has not had a guy reach just balls so far in this contest. That one is going to be delivered for a strike to Peyton Jamison, even in the count at 1. 1-1 here for the right-handed hitter. Spent his past summer with the Metros of the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League. Sampson delivers that right past Jamison, went low on him, and he got him to swing. 1-2 coming up. Payoff delivery here for Sampson, who already has 6 strikeouts so far tonight. Can he get his 7th on Jamison? He winds and delivers that, and that is put just outside. Narrowly misses there. Good idea from the southpaw. And Jamison reached on an error by Erwin Cabasa, who was previously at 3rd base. After he committed that error, Jay Gonzalez immediately moved him to the opposite side of the infield at 2nd. That is his home right now. Jamison fouls that one back to stay alive. 2-2 count. Colton Sampson allowed just 2 runs, one of which was unearned. Obviously give up that home run to Luke Costello in the top of the 4th. Sampson winds and delivers that, puts that low and inside, full count. 3-2. Sampson methodically working through this battle against Jamison at the plate. Looking to punch him out, has another opportunity here, winds and delivers. That one is put low there. Jamison earns a well and hard-earned walk. We'll bring up the bottom of the order man in Brad Curtis.
Now bat number 38, Brad.
No outs, a man already on first. Amsterdam Mohawks looking to cut into this lead. And Will Markwood is already warming up in the bullpen for the Lumberjacks. This could spell the end of Colton Sampson's night after the end of this inning. Sampson did pitch 5 complete innings in his last start. Jay Gonzalez may top him out at that tonight if he can get through the bottom and then eventually the top of this Amsterdam Mohawks order. Is fouled back to open the count, so 0-1. Sampson again working ahead in the count early to put batters on their toes, getting into early payoff situations. Sampson picks that leg up, puts it right down the plate. Gets him to look at that 0-2 count early to get a second strikeout on Brad Curtis, who has yet to play collegiate game in his young and budding career. But Sampson here eyes down Jamison at first. It's that leg up and delivers and nearly got it past Curtis on that off speed, but he just got a piece of the bat on the pitch. Stays alive. 0-2 now coming up again. Sampson on the verge of his 7th strikeout. Question is, will he use that fastball or slower pitches? He steps and delivers that, and Curtis able to foul it back yet again, his 2nd straight of the at-bat, battling in the box. Quality at-bat for the right-handed hitter. The Amsterdam Mohawks have really been exceptional in the batter's box this season. 3rd in the league in batting average, 1st in on-base percentage, and 2nd in slugging percentage, one of the highest quality lineups in the league. Sampson has been challenging them, though, allowing just 2 runs. And that one gets put high there. 5th pitch of the at-bat. A 1-2 count now coming up for Curtis at the plate. With the man still on first and Jamison, will opt to steal here. Sampson delivers that right down the plate for his 7th strikeout of the night. Rang him up on that off-speed pitch. He looked right through that and didn't stand a chance. He knew he was beat immediately. He's going to bring up Chris Holcraft, who has really struggled tonight in the batter's box. Has gone 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Very rare for him. He's currently riding a 3-game hitting streak and leads the team with 17 stolen bases. The Amsterdam Mohawks steal more bases than almost every team in the PGCBL, and they're going to look to steal that one there, and he's well in time. Jamison gets to the second base bag and into scoring position with the dangerous Holcraft at the plate. Tapati was not able to pop in time to get that throw. Jamison very speedy on the base paths. But the Amsterdam Mohawks rank 3rd in steals with 96 on the season. The Lumberjacks stand at 5th with 89. Been really spearheaded by the production of Andy Perez, who's recorded 42 steals this season, is 1 away from breaking or tying the stolen base record in the PGCBL. Sampson winds through that and puts it right down the plate to Holcraft. And he will look to get a hat trick on Holcraft at the plate. His 3rd strikeout against him. Really punctuate his performance. It would be his 8th strikeout. Again, recorded 10 strikeouts in his last 5-inning outing. With Jamison straying off first, he fires it back to second. Irwin applies the tag, but slides back safely. Nice job by Peyton Jamison to realize that Colton Sampson was going to fire it back at him. And he gets to the bag in time. So still 0-2 count. Sampson looks back at second. Follows through that. And that is put into foul territory there. To get over the fence. Jamison was looking to steal that bag and get to third, bringing up a potential sacrifice fly situation for the Mohawks, but he'll need to trot back to second base. Still 0-2 count. Batters are really battling here for the Mohawks. been fouling off Sampson's pitches at will, just haven't been able to make good contact with the ball. He's held them to 3 hits tonight. That one is fired back to Kabasi yet again, looking to keep Jameson in check. Smart idea from Sampson, who realized that he attempted to steal that last bag on his last pitch, making sure that he knows his eyes are on him. And this is the game of cat and mouse that runners and pitchers have. Sampson looks back at him, but going to wind through on his delivery, and he gets Holcraft to cut through a low pitch. His 3rd strikeout of the night on the leadoff hitter. Brett Rowell now step up to the plate here for the Mohawks. Last chance to plate some runs this inning for the squad. Rowell was hit by a pitch and then grounded out to second in his last at-bat. And with the way that Sampson has been pitching tonight, you have to wonder if Jay Gonzalez is going to use him later in this game. He's really come along nicely. Had that one mistake to Luke Costello as he fires that one right past Brett Rowell. But other than that home run that he gave up, hasn't had a run that can be credited toward him. Mostly the field that caused that run in the top of the 1st inning. He's really done an exceptional job of shutting down this high-octane Mohawk lineup. Delivers a ball there. And what has been driving his success is that he has really done an exceptional job of commanding the strike zone. Has not had a count get away from him tonight, and has approached every batter wanting to strike them out. Sometimes as a pitcher, you really throw away from batters at the plate, but Sampson has been directly challenging them, realizing that they either can't catch up to his high-velocity fastball or they can't barrel up his off-speed pitches. He's done a nice job of mixing his 4 pitches to really keep the Mohawks on their toes. But 2-1 count coming up here for the Southpaw. That one gets fouled back by Rowell, nearly hit the on-deck guy and Bray touchstone. Evens the count at 2. 2 outs, man still on second. Amsterdam Mohawks do not want to strand a guy in scoring position, but Sampson to rack up his 9th strikeout of the night. And that one just gets away. So full count coming up between Sampson and Rowell. Sampson already has 2 strikeouts in this inning alone. Can he pull off the trifecta? Looks back at Jameson. Winds and delivers and puts that just outside on Rowell. Wanted that call there. Thought he painted the chalk, but that is going to walk him onto first. Bring up Bray Touchstone to the batter's box, who represents one of Sampson's 8 strikeouts tonight. Struck out in the top of the 3rd and then flew out to left in his first at-bat of the night. And Bray Touchstone, just 12 strikeouts on the season compared to 18 walks, along with 45 hits, which leads the team. He's also driven home 35 runners this season. Has really been one of the Mohawks' top hitters. And he is up early here, 1-0 in the count. Jameson is going to attempt to steal that bag, and that is going to allow him to get there in time with another stolen base. So gets 2 on the inning, and the Amsterdam Mohawks now have runners on the corners with their 3-hole hitter, the dangerous Bray Touchstone, in the batter's box with a 2-1 count. And you can see with Luke Costello earlier, when you get behind in the count, that really gives power hitters an advantage when they get into hitters count situations. Sampson will look to avoid that here. Puts that one high. So 3-0 here to Touchstone. Just had his first walk of the night to Brett Rowell. A count that really got away from him. And he's just 1 ball away from shooting his 2nd straight walk of the night. So 3-0 here. He winds and delivers that. And he puts that right into play. Down at 3rd, and that gets past Miguel Gonzalez there. That was a missile out to 3rd base. Very hard play to make, especially for a player that doesn't typically play first. but that is going to advance Peyton Jamison to home. And again, third base continues to be the biggest trouble spot in the field for the Lumberjacks. It's a hard play for Gonzalez to make. That was coming in with a ton of velocity, but still, you really have to have an everyday type of third baseman on any roster. That's what you see at the MLB level. Third base is one of the most prized positions, and the Lumberjacks just haven't been able to figure out that position all year. And it has come back to bite them throughout this losing skid. Now, McKillop step up to the plate there. Lefty will face the southpaw. He puts that right into play. Carter McKay handles that nicely out at first. Great play from him. That chopped up, and he trots over to first to get the final out of the inning. Lumberjacks surrender one off the single from Bray Touchstone, but they still maintain a 3-run lead heading in to the bottom of the fifth with the top of their order due up. We'll be back with that.
Now, word from some of our sponsors. Turner Funeral Home is
And we're back here in the bottom of the fifth. Leadoff hitter Angel Santiago waltzes up to the plate. And he will face Jesse Kuzmich in first plate appearance against him. Kuzmich allowed 2 runs, both of which were unearned. First third of his relief appearance. Puts that one right down the plate directly, challenges Angel Santiago with that off-speed pitch, and he takes it. 0-1 count early. Angel Santiago struck out in his last at-bat, but reached on a walk. It is first. Kuzmich delivers that. Santiago flares it foul. 0-2 here to him. So Kuzmich, payoff pitch coming up. He's able to strike out Mason Resmondo to mark the end of the last inning. Look to get his second strikeout with Angel Santiago. Coming back up to into the batter's box to prevent himself from striking out in 2 straight appearances. And he does swing right through that, is not able to hold his swing. And he went just far enough to warrant Kuzmich's second strikeout of the night. Now Chase Triplett will step to the plate. His third at bat. Reached on a double in his last. He flared it right down the third base line, and it went into that left field. Got very long run for the Mohawk left fielder, but he takes a first pitch strike down in the low inside corner of the zone. So 0-1 count. Kuzmich looking much more comfortable on the mound. That one is well inside, nearly hit Triplett on that one. Evens the count at 1. Miss from Kuzmich there. And Kuzmich has now 15 strikeouts, then 8.78 strikeout per 9 inning mark. He nearly got Chase Triplett to swing at that one, but he lays off wisely, holds back his swing, started to load that up, but prevents himself from following through on it. That is going to be a 2-1 count coming up. Kuzmich winds and delivers that, and that is put high and outside. Hitter's count here for Triplett. Who again extends his hitting streak to 5 games with the double that he had last inning, or in his last at-bat. Kuzmich here with the payoff, the hitter's count delivery. He flares that right into center field. It lands. Chase Triplett with his second hit of the night. Able to get on base with just 1 out. Can he spark something for the Lumberjacks yet again? He was stranded on second when he landed that double. But the heart of this Lumberjacks order will look to carry on the momentum that Chase Triplett has mustered. Carter McKay will now step up. He had a strikeout in his first at-bat and singled in his first. He takes a strike that cut right toward the middle of the zone. 0-1 count to McKay. Again, his 23rd strikeout of the night. He had in his last at-bat in the bottom of the third. Nearly took a strike there that almost painted the chalk, but lays off it wisely. 1-1 count. The left-handed power hitter is tied for the lead in home runs this season. Has gotten 3 homers at Hanson Aggregates Field, all of which have carried over the right field fence. We've already seen a home run in that area of the field earlier in this game, but from the opposite team. Luke Costello nailed an opposite field home run. That area going into the trees over the right center field fence. That has been Carter McKay's hot spot so far this season. He swings right through that. Nice off-speed action from Kuzmich there. 2-2 count coming up. Another payoff for Kuzmich. He has second strikeout of the inning on the 3-hole hitter. Kuzmich, Triplett, stranded on first. Puts that one high and away. McKay wisely lays off it. Doesn't let ball catch his eye. It's done a nice job of laying off high pitches. It's been the low inside pitches that have caused him trouble this season in the batter's box. And he cuts right through that. That was right in the dirt. Carter McKay, his second straight strikeout of the night. Kuzmich records his third. Jeremiah McLemore will now step up to the plate. Third plate appearance for him. Has grounded out in his last 2 at-bats. And Kuzmich, despite surrendering the single to Chase Triplett, has a prime opportunity to get out of this inning and maintain the deficit to just 3. He winds and delivers that, puts it right down the plate, directly challenges McLemore on it. 0-1 here to him. And McLemore, again, groundouts have been such a huge issue for him. Boasts a 1.44 groundout to flyout ratio. He takes a ball that just tracks a bit low. 1-1 here. McLemore has limited his strikeouts. He had an issue with that early in the season, but groundouts have plagued him more so as the season has gone on. He flares that one foul. 1-2 coming up to McLemore at the plate, who has moved to the 4-hole position after occupying the 5-hole position for many games. The heart of the order consisted of Chase Triplett, Carter McKay, and Jeremiah McLemore for quite some time, but they've steadily been moving up in the order, especially with the return of Jeremiah McLemore to really shake things up in the lineup for the better. He just gets a piece of that, reaches his hands out on it. Kuzmich had him beat there. It's not a great pitch to swing at. He's not going to make great contact with it, but he fouls it back nevertheless and stays alive. McLemore does not have an issue of seeing the ball into the zone. It's more so of making quality contact that he starts with. He does have 2 home runs. Chase Triplett's going to try and steal that bag. That's going to be fired over to second, and he's going to be in with a steal. Great base running there. He got an amazing jump on that pitch. You can see he was already halfway down the baseline before the ball even got close to the catcher's mitts, and he'll be in scoring position. So very timely steal drawn up from Howie Kraus, the assistant coach who is past the third base line right now. So 2-2 count coming up to McLemore. And he cuts right through that. Kuzmich gets 3 strikeouts in the bottom of the 5th to spoil another chance to play to run. Chase Triplett stranded on second for the second time tonight. Lumberjacks don't add any to their lead. Amsterdam Mohawks coming up, down 3 runs with John McKillop, Luke Costello, and Sebastian Harden due up. Sorry, Luke Costello, Sebastian Harden, and John Young Jr. due up. The heart of their order will look to get things started against Will Markwood stepping in. First inning of relief for Colton Sampson, who gets through 5 complete innings with 9 strikeouts and just 1 earned run. We'll be back with Will Markwood starring on the mound. And we're back here in the top of the 6th. Will Markwood stepping onto the mound for his first inning of relief. He has been excellent for the Lumberjacks recently. 0 earned runs across his last 4 complete innings pitched, along with 3 strikeouts that he had in his lone inning of relief against the Mohawks just the other night. He was very excited and motivated by that appearance. He really dialed it up on some D1 level athletes. That he was saying after he had an amazing 1-inning appearance against them in their 5-3 loss. And he boasts a 5.04 ERA, which has plummeted as the season has drawn on. Started at around the 10.00 area, but he's really been able to work that down as the season has progressed. He also has a 1.60 whip, along with 22 strikeouts. His strikeout production has gone considerably up as the season has gone on. He also ranks 5th on the team in innings pitched with 25 on the season so far. He has 0-2 count to work with here too. Luke Costello, home run hitter, had that solo home run over the right center field fence in his first at-bat of the night. But Markwood able to work into a quick hitter's count, or payoff count against him, and he puts him out. First batter that he sees, he sits him down. Early strikeout in his appearance for Markwood. Gets an early out on Costello. Challenges him directly despite knowing that he has considerable power in that bat. Costello had 2 hits prior to his third at bat, but Markwood gets right past him to open up his outing. And that is going to bring up Sebastian Harden to the plate. Singled in his last at bat, but also grounded out to second in the top of the first to mark the end of that inning. Amsterdam Mohawks tacked on 3 in that inning and really got off to a lead, but have since squandered that to a Lumberjacks lineup that has done a nice job, and he flares that into right field. That is going to drop in fair territory in the right field gap, and he's being sent to second. Will he round for third as well? But Mason Rosmondo, excellent relay throw, makes up for that hard hit ball well, goes into the corner in right field. He looks like he's limping a bit out there, but Sebastian Harden gets on second, attacks Will Markwood early after he recorded that strikeout to open the inning, and Mason Rosmondo seems a little shaken up out in right. had to sprint over to get to that ball in time. Made an excellent play to limit it to just a double. And John Young Jr. will now be stepping on to the plate. Young struck out in his last at bat and grounded out to Colton Sampson in his first plate appearance of the night. Markwood delivers a ball low to him to open it. 1-0 to him. And Markwood, rising junior at Skidmore College, one of the top D3 schools in the country. Very low acceptance rate as well. Tapati cuts out under that and he fires it over to third, but not in time. Sebastian Harden able to sprint out to third, slides into the bag in time, and he will be 90 feet away from home. Potential sacrifice situation coming up for the Mohawks, who are slowly eating away at this lead. Haven't had an explosion since the top of the first, or actually they haven't consistently gotten runs throughout these innings, but they are a squad that can really score some runs at will at any given time. And now would be an opportune time to start that with the left-handed John Young Jr. in the batter's box. 2-1 count. Markwood, bit of a jam here. Delivers that, and Young gets a solid piece of it. Will Markwood went to a fastball on the high outside part of the zone and got Young to rip a hit. But that is well into foul territory, so even count here. Markwood look to get his second strikeout of the night coming up. He winds and delivers that and puts it low there. Tracks up on Tapati. Does a very nice job of keeping his body there and keeping the ball in front of him as well. 3-2 coming up. Full count for Young at the plate. And Will Markwood, he has 12 walks given up on the season, but he gets that right past John Young Jr. there. Put it low on him, and he got him to chase. Second strikeout of the inning, and Will Markwood is making an impact early in his outing. 2 outs, a man on third. Could be costly if the Mohawks do strand him here. Jay Gonzalez going to walk out. Looks like there's a substitution going on. Mason Rismondo is going to be taken out of the game. Again, he got shaken up on that double from Sebastian Harden, and he not happy about it either. He slams his hands together, walks back into the dugout. That'll bring Carter McKay to right field. And Akil Nimala to first. So a bit of a switch up here for the Lumberjacks. Akil Nimala has become an option at first base despite starting the year at third. He had a ton of errors in their early season loss to the Glens Falls Dragons. But he's back there, and he fires that right up the middle on the first pitch. Will Cowan does some damage and cuts the lead to just 2 now. Lumberjacks 6-4. And that is going to bring up Peyton Jamison. Walked in his last at-bat. And Will Markwood with a man on first still. Throws it back to Nimala, trying to keep Cowan in check. He does have some speed out there. Will Cowan, again, continuing his strong season where he's boasted a .266 batting average, but Jameson flares that foul. So 0-1 count early to Jamison. He will look to spoil this comeback attempt, but he's going to attempt to steal that back. Connor Tapani pops up, but he is in safe there. Erwin Kabasa applies the tag, but it is late. Cowan in scoring position. That's a very smart scheme from Keith Griffin, who really does use some trickery as head coach. He has his guys bunt a lot, and he orchestrates a ton of steals. That is why they are ranked third in the PGCBL in steals, and they are continuing their base running prowess tonight. But 0-2 here, and he gets it past Jamison. Will Markwood is hyped after that. He yells something at Will Cowan, who apparently said something to him as he got that RBI single. He is hot after getting through the lineup with 3 strikeouts. Struck out Luke Costello, John Young Jr., and Peyton Jamison to punctuate his the first inning of his outing. He works through a bit of a jam, allows just 1 run, but the Lumberjacks lineup will need to pick up the slack a bit and add some more insurance runs for their bullpen. They have not done them any favors as of recent, which has been one of the reasons why the Lumberjacks have lost so many close contests and have given up so many leads, because they haven't been able to get insurance runs on the board. They will need to rise to the occasion in the bottom of the 6th. We will be back with the heart of the order in Erwin Cabasa, Jorge Oliveira, and Miguel Gonzalez due up. We're back here in the bottom of the 6th in this matchup between the Boonville Lumberjacks and the Amsterdam Mohawks. Erwin Cabasa will step into the batter's box. Has gone 1 for 2 tonight, grounded out to short, and also had a single in the bottom of the 1st to help spearhead that inning. He flares that into right field. Sebastian Harden was tracking that down, but he is unable to get under it. Lucky break there from Cabasa. Sebastian Harden was just playing a bit too inside to field that cleanly. It was going to be a long run for him to get under it. And Cabasa just a bit late on it. So 0-1 count. And that is Jesse Kuzmich again on the mound in relief. He is looking to eat up some innings for the Mohawks. He gets it right past Erwin Cabasa there. 0-2 coming up in a payoff for Kuzmich. Able to strike out 3 in his last inning, has 4 already on the night, and history seems to be repeating itself for this Lumberjacks lineup. They've struck out at will against this Amsterdam Mohawks pitching staff. That is an off-speed right on the outside corner. 1-2 coming up. And he had a bit of a throwaway pitch to use there. Use it up there. So he pitched it away from Cabasa. Doesn't want to give him anything, knowing that he already has a hit. Went back to that outside low corner. And a fastball that time, but it doesn't paint the chalk. So 2-2 for Cabasa, who only has 2 strikeouts on the season thus far, not a strikeout hitter whatsoever. And he gets it right past him. I guess I just jinxed that because he cut right through that. Got a piece of it, but it foul tipped into the mitt of Rowell behind the plate. Now Jorge Oliveira will step up to the plate. He had his first extra base hit in his last at-bat, driving a double off the right center field fence. He was eventually plated on a run in the Lumberjacks' 3-run bottom of the 4th, and he drives that right to left field. That is going to land. He gestures toward the dugout, sticks his tongue out a bit. He is having a heck of a game for the Lumberjacks, and he continues that there, recording his second hit of the night, but this time on a single. The Lumberjacks have done very well in one-out situations. That's where they've actually gotten most of their hits. We've seen Chase Triplett get 2 hits in one-out situations. We see Jorge Oliveira get his second hit in a one-out situation as well there. He's really on a roll. And Miguel Gonzalez will now be due up. He walked in his last at-bat, struck out in the bottom of the first to end that inning. But Jorge Oliveira does have some speed at first. Very long stride as well. Looked like he was about to steal that, but he's trying to mess with the Mohawks a bit. But now Gonzalez down 0-2 early. Kuzmich, the payoff delivery coming up. Potential 5th strikeout destined to occur. Jorge Oliveira stepping out on the base paths a bit. He's inching closer to that second base bag, and he's going to attempt to steal that. Right, Raul fires it over, and he is going to be safe there. Just got there in time. Good reaction time from Raul to get that throw off, but Young is unable to tag Jorge Oliveira before he slides in there safely. And he'll be in scoring position yet again, looking to get plated for the second time tonight. 1-2 count coming up for Miguel Gonzalez. Kuzmich looks back at Jorge Oliveira. He will look to keep a keen eye on him from now on. And that one gets put in the dirt and gets past Raul at the plate. Jorge Oliveira 90 feet away from home now. Golden opportunity to add another insurance run. The Amsterdam Mohawks have cut into this lead in the past 2 innings, plating 2 runs across the top of the 5th and the top of the 6th. Lumberjacks need to respond to that if they're going to win this game. The Mohawks are a team that gets hot late. Already have a walk-off win against the Lumberjacks this season. And Miguel Gonzalez puts that in play, goes right to the first baseman, keeps an eye on Jorge Oliveira, trots to first to get the out on Gonzalez, and that is exactly what they needed there. Bray Touchstone, amazing job of keeping Jorge Oliveira at bay at third, and kept composed with the ball in his hand and simply watched Jorge Oliveira at third while going to first base. Excellent fielding there from him. And that is going to bring up Connor Tapati, the plate, who takes a first pitch ball. 1-0 here to the catcher. Grounded out in his first at-bat and then singled, or his second at-bat, singled in his first at-bat, and then was eventually caught stealing when he did reach on that single. Thought that a ball got past Brett Rowell, and the first base coach and Sebastian Rivera, who made the start last night for the Lumberjacks, told him to go, but it ended up being a huge mistake. That was put high and away on Tapati. So 3-0 count to the left-handed hitter. Most definitely will take this pitch coming up. And Kuzmich, no stranger to racking up a ton of strikeouts. Those 24 strikeouts that he had last season for Amsterdam really allowed him to come back to the squad. And that is going to get past Rowell there. And Jorge Oliveira will trot to home, his second run of the night. Boonville Lumberjacks go up by 3. Jorge Oliveira meanders to the plate on that. That's another mistake there from Rowell behind the plate. It just got past him there. And Sebastian Burgos will now be due up. Tapati able to draw his 15th walk of the season there. Sebastian Burgos drew his 18th walk in his last at-bat. He takes a first pitch strike right down the plate. Good way for Kuzmich to open up count to him. Sebastian Burgos did strike out in the bottom of the second, continuing his strikeout issue. He just has not been seeing the ball well. That is your most valuable attribute as a hitter. is your ability to keep your eyes on the ball and follow your barrel into a pitch, but Sebastian Burgos has just been unable to do that, and he finds himself down 1-2 now off 2 stellar pitches from Kuzmic, painting the corner on that, specifically on the inside part of the plate. He will likely look to challenge Sebastian Burgos here. Gets just a piece of that ball, stays alive. So Sebastian Burgos has some life in that bat. Displayed that right there. Burgos 1 hit in his last 4 games and 7 strikeouts in that span prior to this contest. He takes a pitch inside there, nearly scooted toward the chalk, but evens the count at 2 here with Connor Tapati on first. And fielding issues have really marred the Amsterdam Mohawks tonight. They've racked up 4 already. And Sebastian Burgos drives that into center field. That ball is going to drop. And that is going to get past Will Cowan out there. Connor Tapati is going to be held up at third. That is an excellent piece of hitting there. Saw that pitch deep into the zone and got his barrel on that ball. That may break the slump for Sebastian Burgos right there. And that line drive carried deep into the outfield. Runners will be on second and third now for the Lumberjacks, with Akil Nimala stepping up to the plate for his first plate appearance of the night. And that is going to be the end of Jesse Kuzmic's night. Came in to relieve Zach Hernandez at the end of the bottom of the 4th, but his night will be done. 2 2/3 innings pitched. Amsterdam Mohawks going deeper into their bullpen. Again, this is a luxury that they can rely on. They have so many talented arms in that staff. But the Lumberjacks have been very feisty at the plate despite the pitching changes. They've done some damage on both Zach Hernandez and Jesse Kuzmic, plating 7 runs. And the Amsterdam Mohawks pitching staff hasn't even gotten through 6 innings yet. Lumberjacks lineup has really gotten it together at just the right time. This has allowed them to get a 3-run lead, and they're looking for more with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. We will be back with that. And we're back here in the bottom of the 6th. Boonville Lumberjacks still threatening, with Joey Jesowich coming in to relieve. Jesse Kuzmic has completed his relief outing. He has a sidearm delivery, and that one gets past Brett Rowell there. Another passed ball for the catcher. The Lumberjacks are going to plate their 8th run of the contest. That is going to advance Burgos to third as well. Connor Tapati sprints to home plate for the 8th run. The Lumberjacks have been exploiting the Mohawks' mistakes. Those have been racking up tonight. Flurry of wild pitches, pass balls, and errors for the defensive squad. Nimala takes a first pitch strike right down the plate. But that is what has given the Lumberjacks some life and has contributed to most of their 8 runs. Joey Jesowitz. That sidearm delivery may have caught Brett Rowell off guard. Again, he is only making his 3rd appearance of the season. And as a catcher, you really do have to build chemistry with pitchers in order to do your job effectively. And the limited time that Rowell has had with these pitchers could be the reason why he's had a subpar performance tonight. Akil Nimala bounces that into the inside of the infield, and he's going to gut out a single. That is going to plate another run for the Lumberjacks as they go up 9-4 here. Just got a piece of that, but that was right in the part of the infield where it's going to be hard for Peyton Jemison to field that cleanly. He tried to barehand it and fire a quick throw to first, but Akil Nimala, too speedy, and he got there in time, and he drives in a run along with that. Sebastian Burgos, his first run of the contest. Angel Santiago, who's had 2 straight strikeouts in his previous 2 at-bats, will now step up to the plate to record his first hit of the night. Drew a walk in his first at-bat, and that is delivered outside. It's been the outside pitches that have given Rowell some trouble behind the plate, and that sidearm delivery, again, could be affecting his ability to see those pitches out of Jesowicz's arm well. 1-0 early count to Angel Santiago, who a lot of the guys call Yuki. That is his famous nickname. Jesowicz delivers that. And Angel Santiago is going to get under that. It'll mark the end of the bottom of the 6th, but not before the Lumberjacks, off some Amsterdam Mohawks mistakes and some quality situational hitting, plate 3 additional runs, increasing their lead to 5 heading in to the top of the 7th. Lumberjacks up 9-4. Mohawks need to muster something up. They're going to stay competitive in this game. Top of their order will be due up after Brad Curtis, their bottom order guy, having another plate appearance. We will be back with that, and Lakeel Morris now stepping on to the mound. Will Markwood, done after just 1 inning of relief, struck out 3 batters, mirrored his last outing against the Amsterdam Mohawks, where he also had 3 strikeouts against their lineup. Lakeel Morris, first appearance against the Mohawks, look to shut things down and maintain this Lumberjacks hefty lead. We will be back with that. Lakeel Morris, recent Stanislaus State graduate, Folsom, California local, which is in Central Valley, one of the biggest agricultural centers of the entire world. He hails from that area of California. Most people consider California to just be San Francisco and Los Angeles and even San Diego, but Lakeel Morris hails from a place that a lot of people don't know of. he is so coming to a very rural place, obviously in Boonville, New York, which only has 5,000 residents. But nevertheless, Lakeel Morris, staple bullpen arm this season for the Lumberjacks. 4.15 ERA, 4.19, my apologies, along with a 1.50 whip, 18 strikeouts, 17 walks in 19 and a third innings pitched. He's yet to face Amsterdam this season, making his debut against the division-leading squad, and he puts that right past Curtis. Curtis has 2 strikeouts so far tonight. Morris will look to make it a hat trick. 1-2 here to the right-handed hitter. And the Lakeel Morris winds and delivers. Brad Curtis just gets a piece of it there. Stay alive. 1-2 count coming up for the lanky right-handed pitcher. So here with the payoff pitch. Put that one high there, tried to get him to swing. It was an appetizing high fastball. Put it upstairs, tried to get him to chase, but doesn't get it. Wise, no swing call from Curtis. Lakeel Morris looking to work quickly through this at-bat. And he scoots that right on the inside part of the plate. Hits the chalk, and that is Lakeel Morris's first strikeout of the night. Opens his outing in a strong way. Strikes out the bottom order here, but now the real challenge will come. Top of the order for the Amsterdam Mohawks now stepping up. Chris Holcraft having a very atypical game at the plate. He has had 3 strikeouts so far tonight. And he takes a ball to open the count here. But Holcraft now has 22 strikeouts on the season, has yet to record 3 strikeouts in a game. But the Lumberjacks have had him fooled at the plate. Very atypical performance for St. Bonaventure, rising senior. That one, again, nice breaking ball from Lakeel Morris. Scoots right on the inside part of the plate. 1-1 count. Puts that one outside. 2-1 here. But Chris Holcraft looking to get it together. This is an opportune time for the top of the order to really muster something down to their last 8 outs. And he puts that one high into the air. That is going to track into foul territory, but it will even the count at 2. Lakeel Morris, another payoff pitch coming up. That breaking ball that he has is such a quality pitch. And that is really what generates his strikeout production. He has a solid heater to complement it, but that is where his bread and butter lies, is with his breaking arsenal. He already flashed that against Curtis. Will he do it against Holcraft? And he just got a piece of that. That's down the third base line. Miguel Gonzalez fires it over to first base, and that is going to be snagged by Akil Nimala. Excellent play there. Great exchange from third base to first. And Miguel Gonzalez had to work quickly there. Knew he couldn't rely on his arm strength to get that ball right to Nimala, but put it in a place where he could scoop it up easily. And Akil Nimala gives him some kudos at third after that great plays from both of them to nab that out. Now 2 outs here in this inning with Brett Rowell coming to the plate, who walked in his last at-bat and then was hit by a pitch. His first plate appearance. Lakeel Morris delivers a ball to open the count. He's done a much better job of hammering the strike zone as this season has gone on. Has cut his walks in half, and he gets that one right past Rowell. The Lumberjacks looking to close out the top of the 7th, coming into the stretch. They 5-run lead. It all lies on the shoulders of Lakeel Morris. The 1-1 delivery. That one is put high and away. Lakeel Morris knew he missed on that one. 2-1 count coming up to Rowell. Yet to record a strikeout tonight. He has also racked up 2 strikeouts in just 9 at-bats this season. Morris delivers that past him, challenged him with the pitch, and it gets past Rowell at the plate. 2-2. Another payoff. Akil Morris looked to punctuate his inning appearance. The 2-2 delivery, no men on, and 2 outs. Akil Morris delivers, and that one is put into play. Angel Santiago makes a nice grab at shortstop and fires it over to Akil Nimala for the 3rd out of the inning. Exceptional fielding by Miguel Gonzalez, Angel Santiago, and Akil Nimala to get out of the inning in 3 up, 3 down fashion. Lumberjacks head into the bottom of the 7th with a 5-run lead and will look to continue to build upon that. They are really putting the hurt on the division-leading Mohawks. We will be back with the Lumberjacks order due up after the stretch. And we're back here in the bottom of the 7th after the stretch. Joey Jesowich with stepping back onto the mound after got through a 3rd inning, the last inning. He's uncommitted, coming out of Shaker High School, one of the many high school athletes, or recently high school graduated athletes on this Amsterdam Mohawks roster. He's a Latham, New York local, boasts an 86.3 mile per hour fastball, and a slider to go along with that. He's currently committed to Brocksport State, one of the few New York locals on this Amsterdam Mohawks roster. Really fielded their team with players from all around the country. Lumberjacks have mirrored that as well, getting a plethora of their talent specifically from Florida. It really depends on the connections that your head coach has. And Jay Gonzalez, coming from the Orlando, Florida area, has a substantial number of connections at JUCO schools and other colleges like UCF in Florida. 0-1 count here to Triplett. Look to get his 3rd hit of the night. Jesowich, he cuts right through that. Quick 0-2 count. Jesowich looking to make efficient work of the heart of this Lumberjacks order. It's Chase Triplett, then Carter McKay, and Jeremiah McLemore, 3 power-hitting batters. He puts that one into play right to the shortstop. That takes a hop on him and bounces up. That is going to land a single for Chase Triplett. Took an awkward hop on him there. And he will advance to first on that. Bring up Carter McKay to the plate, who has struck out in his last 2 at-bats. had a single that he pulled right between John Young and Bray Touchstone on the right side of the infield, coming in hot in that area of the field. With 0 outs, Chase Triplett gets the bats going yet again. Been really a firecracker for this lineup throughout the season, and he is having quite the day in the batter's box. Quick 0-1 count for Jesowitz on Carter McKay. Jesowitz delivers that. Carter McKay gets a good piece of it, and that is going to land for a single, advancing Chase Triplett to second. That is Carter McKay's second hit of the night. Chase Triplett and McKay have accounted for 5 of the Lumberjacks' 11 hits tonight. Their lineup has finally awakened. This is their most runs in quite some time. And they're doing it against a very solid pitching staff in the Amsterdam Mohawks. And no slouch type of team. But they're still making the most of their opportunity to showcase their talents against the division-leading Mohawks. Jesowitz delivers a ball to open the count to McLemore, who has grounded out twice and struck out. He will look to join the hitting party in his third at-bat against Jesowitz. It's the first time he is seeing him specifically. 1-0, men on first and second base. Jesowitz delivers that, and it gets on the inside. McLemore flares it foul. 1-1 count now. And McLemore, rising redshirt sophomore at Mount Olive, came to the Lumberjacks along with Connor Tapati. Jay Gonzalez used to play at Mount Olive, so you can see the connection there. And McLemore drives that deep. That ball is tracking. That ball is deep. And that baby is gone. McLemore hammered that ball right to dead center field. Goes into the trees. And McLemore continues the hitting party for the Lumberjacks, putting them up 12-4 in this contest. His third home run of the season. And he flashes that slugging ability yet again. Stayed patient and saw that ball deep into the zone and just barreled it up, driving every piece of it over that center, slightly right field fence. Excellent display of hitting from McLemore, who breaks free after going 0 for 3 prior to that at-bat. Plates 3 in the process. Lumberjacks up 12-4. Need just 2 more runs for a potential run rule victory here. Be their second of the year against the Amsterdam Mohawks. Appears that the Lumberjacks have really been the Achilles heel of Amsterdam at times. And that has been on full display tonight. This team has struggled against the Lumberjacks specifically. Has been a good matchup for them. Erwin Cabaza fires that right to Chris Holcraft, but he corrals that. That was a well-hit ball. Unfortunately, that was right to Holcraft. That's short.
Jorge Oliveira.
That is going to bring up Jorge Oliveira. He's had 2 hits. Really broke out this game. Double in the bottom of the 4th and then had a single in the bottom of the 6th. And he gets under that. That is going to go into shallow center field. That's going to get down for Oliveira, his 3rd hit of the night. Bit of a miscommunication from the center fielder and the shortstop, Chris Holcraft, who sprinted out into that shallow center field area. Looked like he was calling for the ball, but Will Cowan out there doesn't sprint completely under it, thinking that Chris Holcraft was going to get under it himself. Much harder play for the shortstop to make, especially since he has to backtrack. That is a play that the center fielder has to make in that situation, and that gets right past Miguel Gonzalez to open the count. But the Lumberjacks are really buzzing at the plate right now, plating 3 more in this inning. They've had 4 separate 3-run innings in this contest, which has allowed their lead to balloon to 8. And Miguel Gonzalez drives that, but it's going to be well foul. So 0-2 count coming up. Jesowitz really surrendered more runs and broken this game open for the Lumberjacks. And with the 0-2 count coming up, Jesowitz winds and delivers and nearly fit that right down the zone, but Gonzalez wisely lays off. If you're the Amsterdam Mohawks, you really can't waste too much energy trying to muster a comeback in this game when you know you have more important things to focus on heading into the postseason. And the Lumberjacks really do need to rely on some other teams to advance into the postseason for the first time in franchise history. It's looking unlikely now, especially because Mohawk Valley is up in their contest. But nevertheless, Lumberjacks want to have a strong end to their season and finish on a high note. This team has really had some high points throughout the season and currently riding a low point that they are looking to break out of. But Miguel Gonzalez takes that right on the inside chalk for strike 3 and his second strikeout of the night. Be the second out of the inning. Jesowitz looks to stop the bleeding, prevent this lead from growing any further. Connor Tapati will now step up to the plate. His 4th appearance in the batter's box, walked in his last at-bat, singled earlier in this game, gets a piece of that pitch there. That's going to be a foul ball, 0-1 to him. And Patty, another one of the Mount Olive players that take their talents to Boonville. Southern Pines, North Carolina local. Jeremiah McLemore, who hit that home run earlier in this inning from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Both of them hail from the same state. And Tapati really wants to get his glider flight training done so he can obtain a license for it. Very interesting story. He's a man of many talents, including his catching ability, and he takes a strike on the outside part of the zone. 1-2 here. And Tapati excels in payoff situations, or in 2 strike situations. He really can see the ball well in battle and counts. Jesowitz nearly fits that on the outside part of the zone, but it strays just outside. Evens the count at 2. Tapati is always a hitter that is hard to strike out. Again, just 7 on the season so far. He gets a good piece of that. That's driven into right field, and it is going to fall for another Lumberjack hit. Tapati stays at first. Jorge Oliveira will advance to third. That is the Lumberjacks' 14th hit of the night. Their lineup has erupted in this game, and that is going to bring out Keith Griffin to the mound. That is going to mark the end of Joey Jesowitz's night. He will go deeper into his bullpen. Lumberjacks will see their 4th pitcher of the night, and will look to continue to extend their lead. Again, just need 2 more runs to capture a run rule victory, which would be their 2nd against the Amsterdam Mohawks and their 5th of the season. They had 3 straight against the Glens Falls Dragons earlier in the year. And when their lineup is clicking, really anything is possible for this Lumberjack squad. And this is quite the statement win against the league-leading Amsterdam Mohawks. Very revolutionary, especially for the Lumberjacks, who have been at the bottom of the barrel of the PGCBL for so long and gotten beat up by teams like the Amsterdam Mohawks for so long. But they're really flipping the script this season. If they are able to muster a huge win here against the Amsterdam Mohawks, it could represent a shift in the culture for this program, one that embodies winning rather than strugglesome seasons. And that could be the path that lies ahead for this Lumberjacks team, even if they don't make the playoffs this season. But we'll take a quick break for this pitching change. Amsterdam will go deeper into their bullpen. And we are back here in the bottom of the seventh. Lumberjacks continue to grow their lead, plating 3 runs in this inning, and it spells the end of the night for Joey Jesowitz. Manny Mantos will now step onto the mound to relieve Jesowitz. Manny Santos, student at the University of Rhode Island, rising sophomore there, steps off the mound and will look to deliberate his approach, how he will handle Sebastian Burgos, who will step onto the batter's box. But again, this has been such a revelation for this Lumberjacks team, and they've really broken out of their hitting cold streak tonight, getting back to what defined their success in the first place early on in this season. Haven't seen this for the past 10 games, but they entered this game with authority. Unclear exactly what got into the Lumberjacks tonight, and it really could be what sparks a magical end to the season for this squad. That ball is put right down the plate. Manny Santos delivers a quality strike right down the plate. He had a 14.00 ERA across 18 innings pitched his last collegiate season at Rhode Island. He's from Amsterdam, New York, so hometown kid for the Mohawks. He delivers a second straight strike right past Sebastian Burgos. That fastball eclipses 90 miles per hour. He has such an amazing heater that he boasts. He also played for Amsterdam last summer, where he had a 3.20 ERA in 19 2/3 innings pitched, along with a 1.27 whip, and he puts that one right past Burgos, stops the bleeding. Manny Santos able to get out of it with runners on the corners. Delivers 3 straight strikes to Sebastian Burgos, who records his second strikeout of the night. But the Lumberjacks go up 12-4 off the home run from Jeremiah McLemore, his 3rd of the season, and he rocketed that right over the right center field fence. We're seeing some action from this Lumberjacks lineup. They have been exhibiting excellence tonight. Peter Nenadich III will come on to relieve Lakeil Morris. Will Marquardt and Lakeil Morris, just 1 inning of work. Peter Nenadich may the opportunity to shut things down if he can get through the first inning of his outing. Jay Gonzalez will likely not want to go deeper into his bullpen, save some of the arms. They are relatively thin at that position, but we will be back with Peter Nenadich's outing against the Amsterdam Mohawks, who will need to muster up a ton of runs and muster them up quick if they have a chance of fielding a miraculous comeback. We will be back with Bray Touchstone, John McKillop, and Luke Costello due up for Amsterdam. And we are back in the top of the 8th. Lumberjacks full control of this contest, driven in 6 runs in the past 2 innings. Peter Nenadich III will step onto the mound for his first inning of relief. Rising junior at Queens College. It's a 90-mile-per-hour fastball boasts in his arsenal, along with some off-speed pitches to boot. He is down in the count early here to Touchstone, who had a single in his last at-bat. But other than that, hasn't been super productive. Struck out and flew out in his 2 previous plate appearances. Peter Nenadich III, a 6'3", 195-pound pitcher, doesn't get off to a good start. 4-pitch walk to Touchstone, who will trot onto first to open the inning for the Mohawks. John McKillop now waltz up to the batter's box, looking to get a rally started with the team down to its last 6 outs. Peter Nenadich, 4.20 ERA, 4-2 record, 55 strikeouts in 60 innings pitched his last collegiate season. He's the 53rd ranked right-handed pitcher and number 147th overall ranked player in the state of New York. Comes from Bayside, New York, which is in Queens. There was a strike and then a ball. Opened it up to McKillop at the plate. Even count here with a man on first. And McKillop gone 0 for 3 tonight. Reached on an error, then struck out and grounded out to first. Nenadich fits that right in the low part of the zone for strike 2. Payoff pitch upcoming here for Nenadich, looking to get his first strikeout of the night. Nenadich has delivered 18 strikeouts this season, 9.17 strikeout per 9 inning clip. Pitched 17 2/3 innings this season with an 11.72 ERA, so has struggled along with a 1-3 record. He now has 15 walks to his name along with a 2.38 whip. Has allowed 28 hits. So hitters have really been seeing his pitches well in opposing lineups. But 2-2 count, Nenadich, opportunity to get another strikeout. And he fits it right past McKillop there. Put it high and outside, and he pulled the trigger on it. It's going to be the first out of the inning and the first strikeout of the night for Nenadich. Luke Costello will now step up. Luke Costello struck out, but he's gone 2 for 3 tonight, singled in the top of the first and then had that solo home run in the top of the 4th. And again, showcases opposite field hitting ability with that home run. That is going to get passed to Patty there, advancing Bray Touchstone to scoring position at second base. Wild pitch from Nenadic, who has really struggled with that this season. Nenadic has totaled 5 wild pitches. One of the most on the roster for the Lumberjacks. It's actually second most, and that is been on high inside and does not catch the zone. 2-1 here to Costello. In the batter's box, rising sophomore at Wake Forest. And Nenadic winds and delivers that and puts it right down the zone, evens it at 2 now. Struck out the last guy. Will he be able to get 2 straight here? Again, strikeout production really driving his overall production this season. That is why he's come on in relief so much. Has given up a plethora of runs, but has always had that punch-out potential on the mound. So another payoff coming up to Costello. Will he be able to prevent his second straight strikeout? Nenadic be the determinant of that. He winds and delivers, and he gets a good piece of it, driving it into left center field. Sebastian Burgos corrals it. Bray Touchstone needs to hold up at third. Knows that Sebastian Burgos has a cannon out there in left field. Wisely decides to stay on third. And Costello has his 3rd hit of the night there. With runners on the corners now, Sebastian Harden will step up to the plate. Harden has also gotten 2 hits tonight. 1 single and 1 double in 2 consecutive at-bats, despite grounding out to end the top of the first inning. And Nenadic with the 0-0 delivery puts that right down the zone for strike 1 to Harden. 0-1 here. And Harden also played for Amsterdam last summer. .338 batting average. Then he is continued to be a solid option for them, and that is way deep into right center field. That is going to allow Bray Touchstone to tag on that. Great situational hitting from the outfielder. That is going to plate Touchstone for Amsterdam's 5th run of the night. Cut the lead to 7 here, but the Lumberjacks still get an out. Now down to their last out in this inning and down to their last 4 on the game. John Young Jr. make his 4th plate appearance. Struck out in his last 2 at-bats, has gone 0 for 3 on the night overall. Grounded out to the pitcher to open the top of the second, but he flares that right to Ern. Cabasa makes a nice grab, fires it over to Angel Santiago, marking the end of the inning. Lumberjacks get out of it, allow just 1. Peter Nenadic III stays cool, calm, and composed on the mound. And the Lumberjacks escape with still a 7-run lead heading in to the bottom of the 8th with Mason Rismondo, Angel Santiago, and Chase Triplett due up. We will be back with that. And we are back here in the bottom of the 8th. Sorry, that is not Mason Rosmodo in the bottom of the order. That's actually Akil Nimala. Again, substituted for Mason Rosmodo, given the injury that he sustained earlier in this contest, trying to stop Sebastian Harden from reaching on a double. That was in the top of the 6th. Mason Rosmodo was taken out. Akil Nimala will make his second plate appearance of the night. Reached on an infield single in his first at-bat. Just got a piece of a ball and put it right in the shallow infield where it was going to be almost impossible for Peyton Jamison to make a play on the ball. But Manny Santos will be back on the bump to face the bottom of the order and eventually the top of the lineup for the Lumberjacks. Santos really using that heater well. Had a 3-pitch strikeout against Sebastian Burgos in the last inning to open his outing. He's had an 11.42 ERA this season in now 9 innings pitched. A 13.50 strikeout per 9 inning. We saw that on full display in the last inning. He's had 13 strikeouts, but has also allowed 10 walks. Has struggled with control, but when he is firing on all cylinders, he can really put it past batters, and it all starts with the fastball that he commands, and that is really his signature pitch. But despite that, he's allowed 11 earned runs and 12 runs total on the season with a 2.19 whip. He fits that right on the inside chalk there for strike one. 2-1 here to Nimala, who has also struggled with strikeouts this season, but is looking to get things going at the plate in the final part of the season. Santos delivers that low and away on Nimala. Nimala, 231 batting average, 320 on base percentage, and 262 slugging percentage. Only 2 extra base hits this season. He's only drawn 5 walks compared to 20 strikeouts. 3-1 here, though. Hitters count for the right-handed hitter. Can he finally break out of this season-long slump? Got a solid piece of that, but was behind on the Santos fastball. So spoils the hitters count opportunity. 3-2 coming up. Santos looks to punch out his second straight. Despite the strong run production, the Lumberjacks have also struck out at a very high clip, but luckily enough, it has not caused them to lose this lead. They've really done an excellent job of embracing good situational hitting and being smart on the base paths. That is what has been the motor behind the surprise lead, and that gets right past Nimala. Challenged him with the fastball. Second consecutive strikeout for Santos on the bump. And Nimala just couldn't turn his hands quick enough on it. Now Angel Santiago will step up to the plate. He's gone 0 for 3 tonight. Drew a walk in the bottom of the first, but has had 2 strikeouts and a flyout since then. Can he break through in the bottom of the 8th with no men on and an out? Santos sets, winds, and delivers, and that one is put right on the inside chalk for strike 1. 0-1 here against Santiago. Has a .337 batting average, second best on the team, along with a .496 on base percentage, which is also the second best on the team, and a .487 slugging percentage. Opened up the season very strong against Amsterdam, getting a home run in the Lumberjacks' first contest against them. Ended up being a 3-2 walk-up off loss for the squad, but Angel Santiago helped them maintain them in that game. But 1-1 count here. Angel Santiago, the leadoff spot. Santos delivers that, and that is flared foul. Got a decent chunk of it, but was again behind on it. Santos getting these Lumberjack batters to be well behind on that fastball is really a switch up from what other pitchers have been showing the Lumberjacks lineup tonight. Haven't seen that type of heat from any of the pitchers. Most of them relied on breaking pitches, and some of them even hung, which has also helped the Lumberjacks obtain this lead, and that slipped low on Santos. Really wanted that to stay up in the zone, but it just tracked a bit low. He liked the idea of that pitch, but just couldn't land it. 2-2 coming up for the right-handed pitcher. Continues to deal in his 2 guys that he's seen. He struck out both of them. Has an opportunity to strike out his 3rd straight. Takes a deep breath and delivers, and he gets it past Angel Santiago there. Went to his breaking pitch and got Angel Santiago to chase on that. That's Santiago's 3rd strikeout of the night. Now Chase Triplett has recorded 3 straight hits tonight. Step back onto the plate. When he is on, he can really hammer the ball. He is showcasing that tonight. Lake Mary, Florida local is in the Central Florida area. Santos puts that in a perfect spot right on the inside. Chalk. Get the first strike. He has recorded 3 straight strikeouts and could strike out every single batter that he's seen on the Lumberjacks roster if he can get past Triplett. And that is put right on the outside. He dots up the inside corner, then goes to the outside corner on 2 consecutive pitches. Great control there from Santos. 0-2 count for Triplett, who will need to protect. No men on, 2 outs. Lumberjacks still up 12-5, but always room to add more insurance runs. Santos winds and delivers that and puts it just high and outside. Had a throwaway pitch to use. Went back to that off speed, looking to speed guys up early in the count. But that one just strays a bit outside. Will he go back to that fastball and directly challenge Chase Triplett here? He gets him to roll over on it. John Young Jr. gets over there and fires it over to Touchstone for the 3rd out of the inning. Santos 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 8th. Amsterdam down to its last 3 outs with a 7-run deficit to make up. We will be back with Will Cowan, Hayden Jamison, and Brad Curtis due up for the Mohawks.
Now warming up on the mound, number 7, Riley.
And we are back here in this contest between the Boonville Lumberjacks and the Amsterdam Mohawks. Riley Hassenstab looking to close out the game for Boonville. Become Jay Gonzalez's go-to closer. But despite that, he has been responsible for 2 of the Lumberjacks' last 10 losses, surrendering the lead in later half of games against the Sartee Stallions and the Amsterdam Mohawks, Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, and both of those were caused by Riley Hassenstab attempting to pick off a guy at second base and him throwing a ball out into the outfield on an inaccurate throw. That has been what has caused 2 of those losses, and really, as long as you get 1 win during a losing streak, it can propel your squad forward. Those have been 2 costly losses for the Lumberjacks, who have, again, slipped to 3 games back in the East Division standings. And actually, the Utica Blue Sox just defeated the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. So if the Lumberjacks win tonight, they can get within 2 games back of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. And the Diamond Dogs have a very difficult schedule coming up. Have to face Sartees, Amsterdam, and Utica. all of these teams are top 3 in the PGCBL East Division, whereas the Lumberjacks have to face Glens Falls twice and the Utica Blue Sox to round out their season. Hassenstab delivers that right down the plate on Will Cowan for a strike. Hassenstab, actually a walk-on at Georgia Tech, wasn't originally supposed to pitch there. He got in purely off academics, took 12 AP classes in high school, and that's what got him into a school like that. But he punches out Cowan there, cuts right into the zone on a fastball, challenged him, and put it in a perfect spot to ring him up. That'll bring up Peyton Jamison to the plate. Hassenstab begins his outing strong with a strikeout, the first of the night for Will Cowan. Peyton Jamison, who struck out in his last at-bat, will look to muster a one-out rally for the Amsterdam Mohawks here. And Jamison, 184 batting average along with a 367 on-base percentage this season with 14 strikeouts and 9 walks, has done a nice job of drawing himself on to base. And Hassenstab to the strikeout battle against Jamison. That is fouled back to open the count. So 0-1 here to Peyton Jamison. Jamison also reached on a walk earlier in this game. Brought his counter to. And that is actually going to be, sorry, my apologies. That's going to be Filippi in the batter's box, number 12. He is pinch hitting for Jamison. Hassenstab with the 0-2 count. Gets him to foul that off. Challenge him directly with that fastball. That has been his payoff signature pitch. 90-mile-per-hour fastball that he boasts. Is really a lethal pitch for Hassenstab. Duluth, Georgia local. He's also a mechanical engineering major at Georgia Tech, which is very typical. He also played third base in high school. Haven't seen him on the field much this season. Simply has been on the bump because he is quite the quality pitcher in the bullpen. You can see that because he has become the go-to closer for the squad. Hassenstab delivers that. Filippi gets a piece of it and drives it right down to the third base line, but that is going to track foul for him. Still 1-2 count. Hassenstab, opportunity to get his second strikeout of the outing. And Hassenstab, he again has been generating strikeout production throughout this season at such a high clip. 11.90 strikeout per 9 inning rate, which is the best on the team. He's racked up now 27 strikeouts this season while allowing just 7 walks and hitting just 4 batters. So still, Filippi battling in the batter's box. He gets it right past him there. Challenged him directly with the fastball. He said, "You cannot beat this pitch." And he put it right past Filippi. Swings right through that. Hassenstab's second straight strikeout of the outing. Brad Curtis now will represent. So it's another pinch hitter that they're using here. Brad Curtis, who had 3 straight strikeouts earlier in this contest, will be out of this game for DJ Wallace. Catcher for the Amsterdam Mohawks, who honestly hasn't seen much playing time this season, has recorded just 1 at-bat and had 1 strikeout in that at-bat. He is a high school senior, just graduated. It's a 1.91 and to 1.97 pop time and a 77-mile-per-hour catcher velocity. Plays baseball, basketball, and football. Is from Ballstone Spa, New York. 96-mile-per-hour exit velocity, so it does have a substantial amount of power in that bat. But that one gets past him there. He also has an 85.6-mile-per-hour bat speed. But he hasn't even played collegiate game yet. He will be the last hope for the Mohawks. He dribbles that one right to Hassenstab, fields it cleanly, tosses it over to Akil Nimala, and the losing streak is finally over for the Lumberjacks. Snap their 10-game skid with a 12-5 victory over the Amsterdam Mohawks, and they split the season series against the division-leading Mohawks. Get the job done here at Hanson Aggregates Field, and they still have a glimmer of hope to reach the playoffs, but they need to win every game. They have 3 left, 2 against the Glens Falls Dragons, and then 1 against their arch nemesis in the Utica Blue Sox. They get the job done tonight against a very quality Amsterdam Mohawks team. Generate 14 hits and challenged the Amsterdam Mohawks' formidable lineup head on. Colton Sampson delivers a gem throughout his 5 innings start, recording 9 strikeouts and achieving the win for the Lumberjacks, who could really build upon this statement win heading into the rest of their season. The wait is finally over for this squad. They have arrived yet again. We'll be back Sunday night here at Hanson Aggregates Field against the Dragons. But for now, this is Grant Walters on the call, signing off. Been a pleasure calling this game. We'll see y'all next time.